We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
With this newest power, I broke the bonds that the Lady of Night put on me. I left the damned queen that evening, cloaking myself in shadows. I fled the lands of Nod, and came at last to a place where not even her demons could find me. Hello, and welcome to Valley by Night, Dire Bear's Vampire 5th Edition Chronicle. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, Jason from over at the Nerd Eternal. And joining me as usual will be Sarah playing Jolene. Decca back with us and playing Blackjack. Rap playing Maeve. Duba playing Alexander. And Eric playing Samuel. Who wants to give a review of last session?
Not me.
Shit's about to get fucky.
That's no way to look at things.
Calling in all the favors.
Well, I'll start off with just a little tidbit to help rekindle Blackjack's memory. So, Alexander decided to have a meeting with Samuel, and face-to-face to keep loyalty, or show that he keeps loyalty to Samuel and the Coterie, he explained what bullshit is about to go down.
Oh no.
And essentially gave Samuel forewarning and the understanding of all that was required of Alexander was just to trick Samuel to getting there. Now, whether or not he is his traditional paranoid self and comes in with a little bit of extra firepower, or comes in with flames ablazing, is up to him. But all in all, he was then ordered by Samuel to get the coterie together and explain everything as well. And so he did. While Samuel decided to go have fun elsewhere and start calling in favors from just about everywhere in the realm.
I like this race car announcer voice you got going on.
And coming around the corner, we have Samuel on fire.
You get used to it after a few years.
So anyway,
So, like,
yes, Alexander
Lady
let
Dashler.
Samuel know that Grandmother Dorcas is essentially setting up an ambush to take him out. Fearing that y'all may be going to war with Clan Nosferatu, Samuel left Alexander to explain to everybody else, like he was just saying. And then he ran off and spoke with the Seneschal, who was currently playing golf with the Malkavian and Toreador Primogen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I believe you were called in a little later that night to speak with Lady Deshler.
Yep.
During that conversation, you found out she had never particularly trusted Grandmother Dorcas. Did not like how trying to get a good word here. Affection might be a little strong.
Fondness?
Yeah, how fond the prince was of her. Since, she's the oldest person in the city, the prince is from the city, so she was, he knows she was around when he was little. There's just something there because they remember the city, in the same way.
Yeah.
However, the prince came in and seemed to kind of already be clued into some what was going on. Did not seem happy with what he learned from Samuel, but it seemed to be meshing with some information he already had. I forget what was it. What was it that he dropped? Did he mention the quarry?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he went ahead and said aloud so it's gonna be at the quarry, ain't it?
Yeah.
Like he already knew the quarry was the ideal spot.
Yeah. Samuel also did catch the prince's face twitching
when he mentioned the dragon too.
Oh, somebody in the chat is asking what valley this game takes place in. The Tennessee Valley. It's the northern part of Alabama. And I guess technically the southern part of Tennessee counts too, but we ain't worried about them. Specifically, we're doing in and around Huntsville.
Okay.
Now you're gonna start a fight now.
Uh-huh.
The other Valley by Night channel is gonna just beat us up.
I did some searches ahead of time and did not find another one called Valley by Night. Doesn't mean it ain't out there because there's a ton of them, but I did at least look. So yes, he didn't seem to be completely unaware. He offered Samuel some backup. They were going to have some of the sheriff's deputies in the area, just the Brujah ones. They're keeping the NOS deputies out of the loop.
Mm-hmm.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Charybdis.
Yes, he was going to have Charybdis shadowing you.
Yes.
And Scylla was in the room with you when all this was going on, because you can now spot her even when she's obfuscated.
Mm-hmm. Spotted Charybdis, too.
Oh, yes, once you were outside, yes. That's right, because you left that meeting and went to Calhoun to speak with
Abla.
Abla.
Yeah, to see about getting her and her clan involved, too.
And I forget what her response exactly was to that.
That if Samuel needs it, he is free to hire the 2 warriors.
That's right.
Of the clan.
The fighters were free for him to use.
That's right.
And that she strongly hinted the fact that their clan used to be mercenaries. And they definitely have a mercenary background, so that he was free to hire their services for as long as he wanted.
And you would know just from having been around in the culture long enough, you know that the Assamites, as the Banu Haqim used to be more commonly known as, you could hire them generally as assassins, but I suppose security, they would do security just as well, but you had to pay in blood, though, literally.
Yeah.
Yours, somebody else's, well, they weren't that picky, but...
But can you hire them to assassinate the Nosferatu? That'd be
I imagine
tricky.
that would be pricey.
That would be
Probably.
tricky.
Going after someone as powerful as a Primogen, yeah.
I mean, not just a Primogen, but like a Nos with the way they sneak.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of our forte to not be seen nor heard.
Though the
So I
Banu Haqim
wonder-
are known for being fairly stealthy themselves.
Yeah, they have a couple skills, I think there was one that I was gonna even get a alchemy power of. It's like silent walking or something.
Yeah.
Well, their ability used to be known as Quietus. I mean, Quiet's right there in the name.
Yeah.
But, though you had not called, you had not called the warriors of her clan yet.
Yeah.
You just know that was on the table.
Mm-hmm.
The Coterie was going to back you up, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cat. Wasn't paying attention. Suddenly I looked down and Rap's cameras.
It's always a cat.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like it's dusting the camera lens or something.
he wants to. They want to be a part of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And now a second cat.
They want to get between you and whatever you're paying attention to that isn't them.
Also true.
I made a little bit of food, and so they're like, "Mom, I want to sniff."
I sneeze.
So now I got a cat butt.
But does anyone remember what date it is?
July 19th or 20th. I want to say 20th.
Okay.
Angelina also solicited some help of some of the Thin Blood alchemists.
Oh, that's right. That would make it Saturday, I believe. Yes, you had some of them were a little leery. It's kind of like, well, we'd like to help out, but it's kind of
It
dangerous.
was only like one or two of them potentially.
You have
She
3
was
other
like,
alchemists that you were consulting with,
Yeah.
and 2 of them are willing to go in.
The other one just doesn't have the skills.
Yeah, the other one does not have,
The other one just doesn't have the clout.
nothing she can, I think it was her. Anyway, nothing they can whip up is combat oriented, but
Yeah.
the other 2 are cranking out whatever potions they can. The third one is helping them with gathering supplies, setting up equipment and stuff.
Mhm.
So, they'll, in a couple of, they only got a couple of days, but with what they can whip out and what they've already got, they're, don't look at them to be your frontline troops, but they should be able to go in there and help some.
Oh yeah. No. Something would be like, we're like the last ditch effort.
Mm-hmm.
It's all celerity and potent, so they can run in and grab y'all as y'all are dying and run back out.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, maybe fire buckets in case y'all get set on fire.
Just Molotov cocktails.
Just have them up on the ridge, just lobbing Molotovs.
Jolene now has fly, so
Hey.
Jolene
One
can
point
just
of
fly
potency,
and
you could
talk.
really chunk something. You could really chunk a glass bottle.
Yeah.
What about me with my, 4 points? Whoosh!
Well, with 4 points, you need to be in the front line.
I
That's
was fixing
true.
to say you don't need to be being the artillery piece and chunking stuff. I mean,
Right.
granted, they could just literally light a crate of Molotov cocktails and you could just slam that right in their face, but that's beside the point.
Catch it and, slam dunk it on somebody. And then run it
Right.
route trick.
Could happen. Could happen.
Yeah.
All right, but Samuel had managed to buy sometime. I think he had 2 nights to prep.
Yep.
we also research and notes to the prince.
Yes, the print, and despite Samuel's desire to keep the originals with himself, the prince kept them,
Yep.
including the old beat up Tremere book.
That was the only thing Samuel wanted to hold on to, but
The prince
he was
insisted.
strongly
Persuaded.
Now, I do believe Charles
Advised.
told you could have it back when all this was resolved.
yeah.
But for now, it's in his possession.
For now, it's evident, so it will stay in lockup.
You
Yep.
can have it back when you're a good boy.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, sorry, you're a vampire, so you never get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Blackjack.
Yes.
So you went to this meeting. You had Alexander explain everything. Alexander experimented with demonstrated his new ability to obfuscate multiple targets.
Mhm.
Well, when the
I would've
meeting breaks up,
Huh?
as the meeting breaks up, you go back, you get in your truck, you're driving off. And without really realizing, you've pulled out your cell phone and you're calling somebody. A place is discussed, a place and time to meet. You wind up driving over, basically just down from the parking lot that y'all fought the Bali in that first time.
Sure.
The one over at the edge of your domain,
Uh-huh.
right before you get to the mountain that the ledges is on top of.
Yeah.
Y'all were fighting in this parking lot. The Mellow Mushroom is like the next place down, and it's kind of like on this, kind of the side lot of their place.
Yeah. I remember.
Dude, that sounds like a good thing to have right now.
It's a decent pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Their salads are awesome, though. Teriyaki chicken. Anyway. So you go down there, and the prince and a couple of deputies are waiting on you.
Okay.
this doesn't surprise you. You were speaking to one of the deputies, and basically, you give the whole spiel. Everything that was discussed in the meeting, you tell the prince. It's only afterwards that it kind of dawns on you what you've just done.
Is it like on the truck ride back? Or is it like immediately?
It's as the prince as the prince and his guys are getting into their car.
Okay.
You're like, wait a minute. You have that WTF moment. And where you
Yeah,
hadn't
play it
remembered
off.
it before, you now remember Lady Deschler speaking to you when you were in that cell.
Mm-hmm.
You knew they'd done something.
Yeah.
Or you had suspected they had done something. And yeah, you'd basically been left a command to let them know of any kind of treacherous activity.
Was the word actually treacherous? It's very specific with submerged directors.
Yes. Actually, treacherous. It would have been, anything treacherous, anything a danger to the domain, the prince's domain to the city.
Sure.
And even if they just said treacherous,
Is it really treachery?
yes. What Grandmother Dorcas is doing, yes.
Okay.
That's still you
different.
becoming aware of something treacherous
Okay.
and having to alert them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't
was
think
like,
of
wait a minute.
anything in y'all's discussion particularly that would have looked bad on y'all.
Okay. No. Okay. Cool.
Thinking back very quickly, as you're driving away, you see, this all hits you just all of a sudden. And
Like, son of a bitch.
thinking back over it, you don't think you ever mentioned the primrose to him.
Sure.
Actually, you can remember what you said. So you never mentioned where y'all were having this meeting at, just that you were having a meeting.
We're having a meeting. We're talking about
And the prince didn't
Grandmother
ask about
Dorcas.
anybody's domains or anything,
Sure.
or anybody's havens, I should say.
He just cares about the
Right,
domain in general, which is fine.
Uh,
Do I know that this submerged directive is done now, or do I get the sense that it's like lingering?
You don't.
Okay.
You don't know one way or the other, and it disturbs you. You can't think of anything else she said to you.
Okay.
And you hope this was just a one-time thing.
I'm just like driving back home, like son of a bitch. I'm just gonna drive home
Yeah.
and sulk, I guess.
All right, so you wind up sulking the rest of the night while
Yeah, while they're
Jolene
doing
is
whatever, I'm just
visiting,
gonna go sulk.
because y'all had that meeting, and I think we had started the next day.
Mm-hmm.
No,
We didn't roll
we
for it.
didn't.
yeah, we
No.
haven't roused or anything.
We ended, and then Maeve hunted again for the same night.
Okay, that
We
may be
haven't
what
started
I'm
a new
thinking,
night.
because you kind of botched your initial hunt.
Did
Oh!
I get
Yeah.
Did I get experience for snitching out to my coterie?
I mean, you didn't theoretically snitch us out. You just happened to.
He totally snitched you out. He had no choice in the matter, but it was definitely a snitching. And yeah, go ahead and give Blackjack the 3 experience so from last week.
Okay. Like
Take your
if
dirty 3 XP.
like if Blackjack didn't do shit, I would have been like whatever. But since he did do
As
something,
he's walking off, the prince throws 3 XP at him. Here, go clean yourself up.
There's no point in something.
it's like someone tipping you, be like get yourself a nice burger.
Go buy yourself a point of integrity.
Oh.
Ow!
Joke's on you! I'm putting that in subterfuge now.
Anyway,
Hungrier.
but yes, that's another.
Sure,
That's another
makes
thing you missed last session. Deca was Maeve going out hunting and getting maced for her troubles.
Yeah.
That tracks.
It was awesome. Came to the primrose smelling like mace.
Yep.
Why do
Yes,
you
she
smell
did.
like alcohol and pepper?
She smelled of mace. I don't know what mace smells like. I've never been maced IRL.
It's
So
it's like peppery.
I know it's like a pepper spray. But
She smelled like really, really extreme salsa.
It's aerosol and pepper. That's it.
Extreme salsa.
Danger salsa.
Dang.
Extra spicy air.
What are we gonna do with you?
But now I'm trying to remember. Did we? It was getting up in the morning by the time we wrapped up last time, I think.
Yeah, because the
Didn't want to go any further. 'cause
the
it could be
Nos
long.
the Nos whip came around 4 a.m. Talked to Alexander. Alexander told him some information. The whip
right.
thanked him and ran off.
That's right, because you gave you gave the whip basically your cover story of how you were luring Samuel to the quarry.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just like first thing in the evening after like taking care of everything, Blackjack's gonna text. I'll be in the clubhouse if anyone needs me. He's gonna make his way over there.
All right, so we'll start off the next night.
Yeah.
Which makes this either Saturday night or Sunday night. I forget.
Should be Sunday night.
We'll go with Sunday night.
Blackjack's
Sunday
just there
the 30th.
depressingly eating chips and like he doesn't do anything. He's just eating chips and watching wrestling.
that he'll throw up later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, an hour or two
During-
later.
The battle, if that happens, just
Just right in the
How'd
middle
you
of
beat
the
that
battle.
Nas? Well, I got him in the face with chewed up Doritos. And then he was just confused. I was able to punch him. All right.
It's not
Everybody give me a rouse. Or have y'all already
We
did?
did.
Y'all just do that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Actually, correction. Blackjack will hunt and then we'll go sulk in the primrose.
All right. So you get up. Your ghoul, as usual, is there. Did we ever name this poor man?
I think we did. I feel like we named him.
Anyway, your ghoul's there, and he can seem to tell that you're in an off mood. Is everything all right, sir?
It was a.
Well,
was a
sir's a
long
little too
evening.
formal for you. Everything all right, boss?
It was a long evening last night. I just needed some alone time. Sometimes it's just the things you Sometimes it's the things you say to people. You know.
Oh, I hope it wasn't anything I did.
Oh no! You will find. You will, as usual. You are wonderful.
Scratch up under the chin area. Oh no, you're great. Who's a good boy?
You're great. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Yeah, so he actually bugs out fairly quickly this time. Oh, you need it alone day. All right. Mental health day, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gives you a quick rundown. Here's what went on. The basic stuff.
I'm gonna have a clipboard just like check.
Yeah, it's the basic stuff. I had to go out and buy some feed, that kind of stuff. Here's the receipts, all that.
Tax write-offs.
You don't have a really large farm, so.
Right.
But he bugs on out. At least tells you, hey, you need anything tonight, don't hesitate to call.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I think I named him Gargano.
Might have.
Gargano.
Oh,
That will
that's
be his name now.
Yeah.
All right, but you're gonna run out and hunt.
Towards where the cows are. Not in the forest, where the other cows are.
Basically, you're gonna go poach the neighboring farm.
I'm gonna poach the neighboring farms. Yes.
Someone's barking.
Oh yeah. The only downside to being where I am now is that the dogs are like right there, on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
Well,
But at
it is
least
what
you
it
have
is.
AC in that room too.
Oh yeah. Don't tell me about it.
Just
I
in time
see
for
that
winter.
AC in the.
I live in Texas,
Leave
so
your
like,
stroll alone.
what
It
winter?
was 80 yesterday. What are you talking about, winter?
November is still
What
fall.
is?
It was 80.
That's a nice summer.
So it's Animal Canyon what?
Let's see. If we're going up with domesticated animals,
I think it was animal kinlets.
wits. I believe it was wits.
Survival, wits was hunting.
Right, that's right. That's right.
I get a +1 to that because I love animals,
They're delicious.
and I still only get 1. That's fun.
Can you willpower hunting?
Yeah.
He
Can.
can
Oh, sure,
as
sure.
long as.
Granted, might hate it
Do you
later.
really want to?
Yeah, sure. To make sure.
All right, you can reroll up to 3 dice then.
3 successes.
Okay.
Only one of them is green.
I checked that. I assure you. All
I know.
right. Oh, there we go. And 3 is what you need. All right. So you manage to slip into the Jones Valley farm, catch a cow that's a little further away from the, kind of at the edges of the woods.
Mhm.
You get your, I assume you're just taking 2 and leaving it alive.
Yeah. Just leave it. I'm leaving it very much alive.
Okay. So he goes kind of wobbling away from you.
Send my regards to the Allisons over there. Smack it on the butt and take off.
All right. Does anybody else need to hunt?
I will. Though, I think I should be able to tap my herd this time, since I didn't do it last week.
This
I don't
is
know.
this will be technically the start of a new week. So yes.
Okay. So he'll just tap the herd. He'll Capri Sun enough rats to slot 2 hunger. Yeah, just get in there. Hey man, he's going to need it if he's going to start obfuscating people, because it's a rouse check for each time he does that stunt. So he's going to need to keep the hunger down best he can.
Yep.
Because if I fail a good couple of those rouse checks in order to obfuscate people, it could
Get ugly.
and
And in front of the prince.
and I need to keep as much ammunition down as I can. Go hide it. Hide the ammo.
Yep.
All right. So by my reckoning, Samuel rather had said he needed 2 nights. He had the night
Yeah.
of that discussion, and the night that he was.
And then tonight, basically.
Okay.
This is the last night.
All right. So it'll basically be Monday night that you go.
Yep.
So what prep is everybody doing Sunday night?
Maeve is gonna get her guns ready.
Okay. I know Alexander ended, I think, last session going through his arsenal.
He did. He ended going through his arsenal, looking around, finding a crossbow. It's like, yes, you'll be perfect for spiking. And he then found one divine little beauty that is, of course, almost somewhat resembling what Samuel has for the decorative guns with dragonfire rounds.
All right.
So he ain't pulling no punches this go round. If he's going to be doing this stunt, he's going to make sure he can do something.
Would a crossbow round count as a stake, or does it specifically have to be a chunk of wood going through the heart?
Arrows and bolts, I think, work. I
See,
think they have to be wooden shaft, though.
I did look up crossbows can fire stakes.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
That's
crossbow
also good to
bolt
know.
is thicker than an arrow.
Just
so-
attach a stake to the crossbow.
Boys, you don't think he's not gonna come with like a quiver full of stakes? Just ready to start just lobbing those bitches in, just like clunk.
I'm just picturing raw meat.
It's very Oliver West.
It was one of the Banicula books where the cat gets confused about that and is trying to punch a stake through the rabbit.
Yeah.
I think it was the first book. The second book is running around with toothpicks because he's figured out his mistake.
Yeah. Blackjack is just gonna be at the Primrose, kind of like, just has very old country music going, watching something, just sitting.
Like Hank Williams Sr. is playing.
Yeah.
I just imagine Bree like, what the fuck is going on?
She does wander over. Blackjack, are you okay? Is there a reason you're playing this old crying my beer music?
I mean, if I had a beer to cry in, I probably would too. You know, if I didn't produce tears when I cried.
And it says just bubbles in your beer. I'm just watching bubbles in my beer.
She steps over to the fridge, opens the door, leans down, and slides open like the crisper. Pulls out part of her six-pack.
left the bottles there from the Molotov cocktails.
I like you, Bree.
Just, don't tell the more bossy bosses.
Yeah, of course. Just crack open a cold one with Bree, I guess.
And, she starts asking, well, what happened? What's...
It was a... You ever have to do something against your will?
She kind of looks at you. Well, there was the time that I got turned into a thin blood. There wasn't a whole lot of asking involved there.
Yeah, no, that I can imagine. There wasn't a lot of asking here either. Becoming a kindred myself. It was, hey, you look kind of cute. I hate the accent.
Now, would Bree have met your sire when she was wandering around?
Probably.
Okay.
I was showing her off a lot, so it stands to reason.
She's like, oh, y'all seem to get along pretty well.
I think she got used to the accent. It didn't go away.
Well, I mean,
after
you
being
didn't seem to be
very
holding it against her.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, no.
Besides,
I
what
like
accent?
her. Thank you. She's not from around here. She didn't understand.
Now, Samuel's got an accent.
Samuel absolutely has an accent. This is already making me feel much, much, much better about my situation.
What was it you had to do, if you don't mind me asking?
It went high up than our pay grades. Like, even both of our pay grades.
Okay.
Mm. I should probably actually ask Samuel about it instead of, putting on Hank Williams or something.
Oh god.
All right,
I'm
so
sorry.
what's that?
I literally am just like seeing big muscular Blackjack just like in the tiny wooden chair that probably Alexander uses in front of like the screens,
Mhm.
and he's just like he's got his feet up on the desk. He's just reclined back with a beer in his hand, just looking all.
Where he's
just
leaning against the
sad,
counter drinking hers.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right, so while he's kicking back and having a beer, let's see. Rap, you said Maeve was getting her guns ready?
Mm-hmm.
There is a knock on your haven door. Vincent is immediately up and at the door growling.
Of course, she's hella suspicious because the only person that knows where her haven is has the key to her haven. she'll take Vincent up and go look through the peephole to see who's
It's
outside.
Colin.
Okay. So she'll open the door.
He goes ahead. As soon as you open the door, he steps through, doesn't wait to be invited in. Maeve had an interesting conversation with a Nosferatu contact of mine here in town.
Okay.
He seemed particularly jumpy. Really didn't want to meet with me, truthfully, but I've got a little something on him.
Uh-huh.
He wouldn't give me specifics, even under duress. But he said I might want to get you out of town. Do you know what's going on?
You sure you weren't followed?
I'm certain. As certain as you can be.
Well, apparently. You remember Alexander? Right?
Yes, tall, slender fellow. Kind of looks like a rat.
Well, how do I put this? Because I haven't heard from Samuel yet. But from what Alexander told us, Grandmother Dorcas has a hit out on Samuel.
Why? What have the Tremere gotten? What has your Tremere gotten into?
It's what Grandmother Dorcas has been hiding that Samuel found out through his visions. And
What's she been hiding?
she knows he knows. Would Samuel have told us his vision? Okay. So she's like, well, apparently he's been trying to figure out what's underneath the city and has kind of has heard this being talk, and the being knows that Samuel was there and kicked him out. So when he went to go look again, he saw Grandmother Dorcas talking to said being before being kicked out again.
Do we know what kind of being this is?
Samuel didn't say. We haven't had a chance to talk to him. Alexander talked to us yesterday after telling Samuel what Grandmother Dorcas wanted him to do.
So Alexander is betraying his clan to try and protect the Tremere.
Trying to protect the Coterie, yes.
Well, yes, of course, all of you. So what is so important about this creature that Grandmother Dorcas would... Not that Samuel is that important in the city, but he's well known. His disappearance would raise eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, it was to go to the quarry.
Colin thinks they're saying, if you're going to set up an ambush, that's not a bad place to do it. I'm sure the Nos have entrances to the warrens there. They do dig. Quarries do tend to dig fairly deep.
Mm-hmm. So we figured Samuel's gonna do his thing, probably calling every favor he has gotten so far due to the Coterie.
So he's planning to go to this meeting. He's planning to go spring the trap.
Probably.
That's rather ambitious. The Nosferatu are not someone you want to go to war with.
He might call in favors from the prince. Who knows?
Does the prince owe him that level of favor?
Maybe warn the prince, let him know, hey, listen, if I die, this is what happened. I know he probably definitely told his sire. So. And his sire's just as old, maybe if not older.
Oh, the Dorcas, yes.
So,
I imagine they would be. Still seems rather reckless of her. But if she was concerned, might have been concerned he was going to tell other people.
Probably, but we haven't had a chance to talk to Samuel yet to really know what it is. I know he's been looking for evidence and trying to do research to figure out what's underneath this city.
How involved are you in this?
I mean, I'm just being told what's happening. Kind of getting ready just in case if we're all to go to the quarry. Because Grandmother Dork is killing in the prince's domain. And if the prince found out.
Yes, yeah. Deschler would not put up with that.
So, if Samuel did go to the prince with enough evidence.
Or if Dorcas got permission from the prince. Perhaps permission that she had to keep it on the down low. All my sources say they're very close, that they've been allied for a very long time.
Yeah. But I mean, but what if she didn't, and now he just found out? Like I said, I haven't had a chance to speak to Samuel, because by the time we know everything, it was getting late. Kind of had to go to sleep. But apparently Samuel told Alexander 2 days' time. That he needed 2 days to get everything in order.
And how long ago was this?
We learned about this last night. So he told them last night.
Alright, so tomorrow night's when this meeting will go down. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a mother hen, but...
I know. You want me to leave. This coterie's too dangerous.
Yes, but I know better than to try to make that argument. Let me know if it ends up that you're all going. Let me know when you're going. I'd like to be there to back you up.
Of course, as soon as Samuel lets me know, you know you're the first person I message if I'm going into something dangerous.
If you bother to message anybody, yes.
You're the only one I really message more besides the coterie.
I also heard there was a kerfluffle with your Bruja friend. That he'd been venturing down into Decatur.
Stupid. So stupid. Because he wanted to find inner peace.
I see.
Yeah. He wanted to find inner peace, so...
And the prince believes that.
He talked to this chick that was helping us fight before. I mean,
You had an anarch helping you before?
when we were fighting the Bali.
Oh, the hippie chick. I believe you had mentioned something about a hippie.
Yeah, the hippie chick. So he went to talk to her to find inner peace, or if she knew anything about inner peace.
Because she was a hippie?
I don't know.
The man grew up in the 60s. He should know better.
This is Blackjack we're talking about. I don't even think he knows what he's doing half the time.
Oh, well. You come to Bama, you meet Bamas.
Yeah, so. I'm surprised he walked out of there.
They must have been, well, I guess he's been in this city a long time. Maybe they're aware of his nature. And realize he doesn't lie well enough to try to make up something that extravagant. Did he find anything about inner peace?
No, nothing at all.
I mean, I've been venturing down into Decatur, but I've been consulting with the Camarilla forces that are down there. So,
but the prince knows you're down there.
this is true. Or at least he knew that was one of the areas I'd be searching.
Yeah, but Blackjack didn't tell any of us. Nobody. So it's like, okay, well, they know you weren't talking to the Camarilla down there. If they had to drag him in there.
I wondered how they knew. They must have had someone following you. Or the princess spies amongst the anarchs, one or the other.
Probably. Prince has his hands in a little bit of everything, I think. So.
He's far craftier than many give him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
But they often underestimate us, so. Well, I'll get out of your hair. Just be sure to let me know.
As soon as I hear from Samuel, I'll let you know.
I'll be getting some equipment together.
That's kind of what I'm doing right now, too.
And without further ado, he heads on back out.
Mm-hmm. And I shall lock the door behind him.
Jolene, I believe you were cranking out some potions.
Yeah, she's got like half a dozen crock pots going.
Just imagining your neighbors glancing through the window. What is she doing? She cooking for a family get-together, something in there.
Well, she probably doesn't have it like out in front of the windows like, hi, look at my fine collection of crock pots.
I don't know, but if they're Pioneer women, she might have them out on display.
No, she, like, considering what she's putting into these things, she probably, like...
it's all garage sale crockpots.
Goodwill and garage sale, yeah.
Yeah, because that'd be weird going to, like, a Costco and then buying a whole bunch of crock pots.
Just walking down the aisle with a shelf.
Like 6 crock pot money.
Be like, it's on sale. It's a very good sale. $40
for all
off.
of my friends.
This Christmas, everybody's getting a crock pot.
Yeah, she's just doing that and watching the phone. Like, okay, what are we doing? Probably at one point it's like, are we meeting up at any point tonight?
Well, you'd gotten a text early in the evening from Blackjack that, he'd be hanging out at the clubhouse. Alexander, what kind of preps are you doing?
That is a good question. I mean, there's not really a whole lot I can think of him prepping other than, I guess, him just trying to take the time with his ghouls to maybe do a little bit of looking around to see if they can see any NOS activity, see if there's like any heavy concentration of where they're moving, if they're doing anything in a particular area, or...
From previous experience, you very rarely catch NOS on camera.
Oh, yeah.
You don't particularly know of any vehicles they use regularly, to keep an eye out on. You do see the Tremere scatter, like they've been doing a lot lately, where, 3 or 4 of their cars go driving off in different directions. All of them go, like, at least, all of them leave town.
He's gotten to the point to where he knows the pattern. It's like, okay, so-and-so's gone this way, so-and-so's gone this way.
It's not that they go to the same spots all the time, but it's that, okay, 3 or 4 of them leave, so, they clearly know somebody's been watching, and the smoke screen kind of is in effect.
Oh, yeah. He's aware of the smoke screen. He keeps track of it, but at the same time, he's not like sitting there like massively studying like who's the plates, who's the vehicle. He's not going full ham.
Yeah.
He's just paying attention to the fact which, okay, they're going this way, 2 went this way, a third one went that direction. Okay, fine.
Yeah. And you don't spot Alejandro's card off. Which again is the current pattern.
Current trend. But him searching for Nosferatu, he knows that his ability that disrupts electrical devices from seeing him. He's trying to look for just any kind of random signal that looks like what his ability does. I think it's Ghost in the Machine, essentially. Like, it makes the cameras and stuff fuzz or kind of blink out for a few seconds as they pass.
Okay, give me a computer use roll.
What roll? What am I doing? Technology?
Yes, technology.
Technology and what else, sir?
We always say wits.
Wits.
A lot of this is how close of attention you're paying.
No modifiers. Okay. Probably seen it.
Okay, with the 2, you do not spot anything that you think is an os messing with cameras.
I didn't really think he would, but it's just kind of try to be as cautious. Be as cautious as Samuel, essentially. Be paranoid.
Good luck with that.
I know he's not Tremere, but a Nos can be just as probably paranoid, if not more, because hey, they're not supposed to find me.
All
ever.
kindred can be paranoid.
But,
Alright, so that leads us around to Samuel. You've got one night to prep. What are you doing?
Well, what he is going to do first is he is going to go tap his herd, make sure he's at 1 hunger.
Okay.
So he's with 1 point left for that.
So you swing by the old hospital.
Yeah.
Make out with a few nurses. Got you.
Basically. The other thing he's going to do is he's going to text Abla and just quick what did her father think of the gift?
What was the gift now?
He gave her a copy of all the information of something that the Bali might potentially be searching for into the city since they were hunting him down.
But you get back. Oh, he found it intriguing, and he is still studying it in depth. He figures it's talking about one of the old men.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think how she would put this in text. But he has no idea which one, though.
Okay.
But someone likely from our part of the world.
Right.
Oh, and he's absolutely fine if you need to borrow how would you refer to him? If you need to borrow our security specialist, he's fine with that. You just have to work out a deal with him, with him.
Right. I'll say I'll definitely keep it in mind. We'll see how the rest of my meetings go tonight.
Then you get frowny face, but he has said I can't go. Doesn't want us to get too involved in what's not our business.
His response to that would be, well, that's a shame. I'd love to have you.
So what other arrangements are you making?
Well, the last thing he'll say is, well, if all goes well, then I'll see you later, but if not, I've enjoyed working with you.
It has been a pleasure. Please be careful. Let me know how things work out.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Okay. After that, he is going to send a group text out to the Coterie and say, meet at the clubhouse ASAP.
Okay. When you get on your phone, you see you've already got a message from Blackjack saying he was going to be hanging out at the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So all the rest of you get that text from Samuel.
Already here.
Really don't head that way.
And so will Maeve.
Mm-hmm.
Through the tunnels with me.
Actually,
Actually.
nah, he will sit there for a few minutes, say, correction, how about we go to a bar instead?
Which one?
Blackjack tilts his head like,
Walton's Mount.
The Waltons Mount Elysium. Your home away from home.
Is that the fancy bar or the non-fancy bar?
It's the non-fancy.
Yeah, it's not a
Okay.
particularly fancy.
Okay.
But it has some conference room facility kind of things that are not open to the general public.
Yep. And he'll get on his bike and head that way. Because after he said that, he remembered like a few minutes later, oh yeah, I'm being tailed by Charybdis. He doesn't want to lead Charybdis to the Primrose.
Fair
Ah,
enough.
Jolene will then be like, dang it. Bangs a U-turn and heads to...
Same with Maeve.
I'm picturing if Samuel realized this after he got to the Primrose, and it's like, ah, crap. And then he just pulls a Rick Sanchez, just starts pouring gasoline and everything. Oh well, this place is burned. We'll use the insurance money to build a new clubhouse.
Blackjack is in there all shit.
Blackjack and Bree? Like, damn.
Cold.
Everybody burns.
What happened? Wait,
Black-
did you do... No, you didn't do the Ember.
No,
Blackjack,
that
Blackjack,
only lasts for one night.
Blackjack sees a text and he's like, I'll be damned, duty calls. You've been Bree's not even there. He's like, you've been a good help, Bree.
She hasn't left yet. She was apparently waiting around until somebody else got there. She didn't want to leave you alone in your state.
You didn't text anyone else to be like, come check on your friend.
And you know, she tends to hang around for an hour or two after closing at least, so
Yeah.
if y'all are going to have a meet, she usually sees you before she leaves.
Your company's been appreciated, but I guess duty calls. And,
Alright, you safe to drive?
I don't get drunk. What are you talking about?
Really? Oh, that's a shame.
Alcoholism is just a social thing that some of the other kindred use to.
Yeah, hitting clubs, it works for me.
Yeah. I figured you would understand, but you'll appreciate it, and he like tries to gently pat Bree on the shoulder.
Just giant mitt just...
Yeah, you know your own strength though, so that's not an issue.
Yeah.
Alright, you see her throwing the 2 glass bottles away as you leave.
Appreciate you.
She starts getting ready to lock
Don't
up.
worry, our secret's safe. Takes off.
She's like, yeah,
Goes outside,
Vamp's never
Persian.
looking at crispers.
Now drive that way.
Yeah. Samuel's probably there first.
Yours is closest. You're closest, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
And he's on his bike, so he'll
Yeah.
be getting there pretty
If
fast.
Blackjack started at his farm, he'd be a little closer, but
Yeah. So yeah, Samuel will get there and he'll greet whomever the ghoul is. Say he'll need.
go ahead.
I need one of the back rooms for an important meeting.
Oh, certainly, sir. They're all open right now. So.
The rest of my friends will be arriving in time if you mind directing them that way.
Certainly, sir.
Thank you. And help. Take a seat.
All right. It is not too long before everybody else starts piling in. Assuming they
Is
didn't.
Charybdis
waste
in
time.
there? Or is he just chilling out outside the bar?
He comes in.
He
Just
does.
cramped in like this.
He comes in via the back door, like a lot of the Knots do.
Yeah.
He gets in the hallway where the conference rooms are.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't try to go in the conference room with you, though. He just kind of gets to the end of the hallway and obfuscates.
Okay. Samuel just looks at him, just nod, then
He just gives you a, because he is, supposedly there to provide security for you, not to spy on you. So.
Yeah. Well, he has
That's what
Charybdis.
Blackjack is for.
He has Charybdis doing that. The prince. I remember the prince asked Charybdis to keep an eye on, to trail Samuel until the meeting.
It's just like the old days, the gargoyles guarding Tremere.
Yeah. That's true.
Hating you
Samuel-
with an unbridled passion.
Samuel is not going to bring that up, though. That'd be a bad idea.
You're pretty sure Charybdis ain't that old anyway.
Yeah.
So one by one, your party members show up. As each of you walk in, one of the ghouls approaches you, asks if you're here with the doctor's party.
Yeah, doctor's party.
He directs you to which conference room they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander, you of course come in the back door, but one of the ghouls is there to greet you.
So, tomorrow night. Looks like I'm walking right into D-Day all over again.
And I really hope there's less live artillery.
I assume you're the live artillery.
I certainly hope to be. But
I had an idea, actually. Now that I've been... Why are you looking at me like that?
I didn't say anything. I was looking because you said I had an idea.
Uh-huh.
Blackjack goes, I have an idea. Everybody in the Coterie grabs their chair.
It's like,
you say that, but IRL I did do that. I just grabbed the chair. I just like...
Maybe it's just gonna be like, maybe because your ideas are questionable half the time.
Anyway,
Alexander, thanks for the
you're
follow, Dave Jones.
Yeah.
Alexander, you're capable of cloaking us now with that little trick you did. Is there any way you can just cloak one of us and just have us kind of sitting there until the other Nas show up and then we...
Why, yes, actually, it wouldn't be very hard for me to just cloak you, and as long as you do nothing to ruin the obfuscate, everything should be fine.
Well,
And
that's
by
a
ruin, I
trick.
mean yes, when I gathered them all together, I decided to show them that I've been practicing in my own, rather, I wouldn't say paranoid, but precautious state.
You learned how to cloak other people, I learned how to see them.
Makes our jobs a lot easier, doesn't it?
Indeed. So, I did have a meeting with my sire and with a few other people of interest, including the Prince and Lady Dashla.
Oh.
Oh, hey, me too.
What?
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 How do you mean?
Remember when I was telling you that some things weren't like connecting all the way? Couldn't quite
you
put
had
my
it.
finger on it.
You had a directive placed on you.
That's the one. Yeah, it popped up sometime last night.
What did you do?
Well, tell me this. Did the prince seem surprised when you spoke to him?
He was surprised I was there, but he definitely stormed in like he received some bad news, and he did already know.
Yeah, I'm the bad news.
That's a given on some days, but did you tell the prince?
Are you just gonna keep kicking me all day?
I mean, we
wasn't-
got a while, yeah.
It wasn't anything he could rightly control.
No, I know. I understand.
Well,
But yes, apparently I told the prince and a few of his folk about wow, Grandmother Dorcas and her intentions.
Which folk?
Just a few shelves, it seemed.
Nah, sheriffs?
No, it was
Honestly,
the
it
Bruja.
was
It was
not.
the Bruja. It was the
Bruja, okay. I believe it was Brujas, but you know how it works. There's always a nos in every room.
I see.
Motions to Alexander.
Right. Oh,
No,
please get off my keyboard, Scully. Thank you.
I mean, we have a gargoyle out in the hall.
What?
Huh?
The prince has somebody babysitting you?
The prince has asked Charybdis to oversee everything I'm doing these next few days, in case the Nos decide to try to jump something early.
Overseer babysit.
Colin
Yes.
said he will
Sounds
help
like those-
out if we go into a fight.
Well, that's certainly helpful.
He just needs me to text him when.
Well, from what I understand from my meeting with the prince, both of the gargoyles, Scylla and Charybdis, as well as Prince Deshler himself, will be going.
Okay, but when?
Tomorrow night.
What
Tomorrow
time?
night.
Like, as soon as we wake up?
When
10
I decide
o'clock?
we're going.
Because Colin says he just needs to know what time he'll show up.
I could probably tell the other alchemists then to kind of hold off. I'm guessing since, yeah, we got quite a herd.
Well, let's pencil in. We're gonna attempt it for midnight. I'll be
Alright.
free then.
And that's when Maeve will text Colin 12 a.m.
Midnight sounds good.
Witching hour, I think.
Yes.
Alright.
Not a witch. Why would I know?
Fair point.
Also, if it comes down to it, the Banu Haqim, I'll have to organize a contract and pay the price for it. But both of their warriors are free for my hiring if I need them.
Is your sire coming as well?
He is. And he said that he's going to prepare. He also has offered to write a letter to my grandsire and get him involved.
That's I wasn't aware your grandsire was alive.
That is something that the prince would be very angry about.
And so do you think it's wise?
Do any of you know what a Justicar is?
Maeve probably does, right?
I don't know if Jolene would or not.
Being as
Truthfully,
old
you probably
as-
all would. Just cars are kind of boogeymen.
Okay. Kindred 101. There's a PowerPoint about it somewhere.
My grand... Suffice it to say that my grandsire is typically known as the Justicar.
I mean, that I could see maybe why the prince wouldn't want him in town. And maybe some of the Thin Bloods wouldn't want him in town either. We're a little jumpy around people.
Yes. Honestly, given everything that's happened right now from what Alejandro ordered me to do with Lady Deshler, he might just final death Alejandro and Lady Deschler out of principle if he showed up.
I don't think that would.
I don't think that would
I don't
be
think the
wise
prince would
then
like
to
that.
message your grandsire.
To be fair, if you think about it, can the prince even really stop him if he were to do that? Granted, it is his domain. However,
On
The
as
prince,
old,
probably couldn't,
Mm-mm.
prince probably couldn't stop him, but I don't think it would gain us any favor with the prince having Samuel's grandsire
Or-
come over and kill his wife.
oh no, no.
Reason why I say this is I looked up a lot of stuff for Carl Schreck. Keeping blood sorcery in the Tremere line
He is
is
very
one of his major things.
He is very traditional.
Yeah, so having Alejandro ordering Samuel to teach Lady Deschler blood sorcery to keep her favor on the side of the Tremere, he might just go, "You two's gots to die now."
You know too much.
Well, I mean, if you look up his stats, the only thing that's below a 6 is one of his social stats. I think is the only thing below a 6, and there's several that are like at stat 8.
Well, he's old. He's
Social
old,
stats
low
when you're
generation,
just
so yeah.
people?
He's
It's like Gen 9 or
He's-
some shit.
he's 5th gen.
Cool.
You know.
He's a 5th gen Tremere Humanity 3 vampire.
The honey badger. He gives no fucks.
Yep.
And he has like every discipline, I think.
Like I would not put it past that man for something to just happen to Samuel, and that old man just come in knuckles cracking like, all right, I'm cleaning up this bitch.
Huntsville needs a new prince. Any volunteers?
Well, I'm gonna link him in Tuesday chat while I go back because tangent. Anyway,
Julian off to the side is just like texting the other Thin Bloods like, it's all good, it's all good. I think we'll be okay.
yeah.
Y'all don't gotta worry too much about.
Reinforcement.
Yeah, apparently we're bringing fucking nukes.
If y'all are curious, there he is in the Tuesday chat.
Just
But
out of nowhere, you hear a voice. Tactical nuke.
tactical nuke incoming. Yeah. Nuclear launched it. We're on a tangent. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
All right, try to refocus.
Sorry. But, in the interest of honesty, I did inform the prince that that's a last resort option. So, if I think I might have forced his hand.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Who knows?
Fantastic.
What I told him is that my sire left it as an option on the table that he may do if it comes down to it. I told him I was going to do everything in my power to prevent my grandsire being involved. But, as Jason is smirking over there.
He's already called the grandsire.
Oh, jeez. If Carl Schreck actually showed up.
He's on the phone with him the night before. Like, Shrek, baby!
No, sorry, I ended up like looking back over at it. Literally, this dude is like 900 years old. He was embraced in the early 1200s.
Okay, so we got
And I think was a mortal
prince?
monster hunter before that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He
he
was.
was.
the Bruja sheriffs, the gargoyles,
Yeah, in life, Carl
all us.
Schreck was a demon hunter from Vienna. Jeez.
So, I mean, are we aiming to kill her, or what are we trying to do?
I think we should leave that to the prince.
Fair.
That is definitely up to the prince. What will happen there?
And the impression that you got from speaking with the prince is, like the sheriff's deputies are going to be, maybe parked at Stoner Park or something, close by, They can come in as soon as they get a call.
Yeah. Oh, he'll also mention. Oh, by the way, the Bruja deputies and the sheriff will also be in Stoner Park nearby.
But you know,
Sounds like we have all our ducks in a row.
but yeah, the plan is to let Samuel walk in to see what her response will be.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know she's going to be there?
Well, if the entire clan jumps in, they'll know that what he was telling them was true. But yeah.
Yeah, by the time the entire clan jumps him, he could be facing final death.
That's a risk the prince is willing to take.
I'm sure he is.
Yep.
Alexander will answer Blackjack in that regard. The unfortunate bit is, I do not know if Grandmother Dorcas herself will actually be present. I was told that I would be spared the task of giving Samuel final death. My clansmen would be the ones to deliver that, or at least take care of it.
But you don't know if she's going to be there herself. I mean, clearly she's seen what Samuel can do.
Maybe she just doesn't want to be the one incriminated in it. She could lie and say, oh, it was just a few of my wayward children. I'll kill them after they kill Samuel.
Yeah. Don't put the blame on herself and she keeps on going.
It's a very vampire-y thing to do.
Well, the prince is well aware of the back entrance into the cave, wherever that Methuselah is sleeping.
So that is... You found out what it was.
It unconfirmed, but from everything I've been able to gather, I believe that is likely the case.
So, game plan?
Well, I'm going to arm up all the rituals I can. And then we'll see.
If, I think my play here is just as one of your bodyguards. It's just, have me be invisible about 10 feet away.
Again, I will happily do what I can. As far as I'm aware, I can cloak multiple people, but it will be a taxing process if I go more than 2 so far that I've seen.
I mean, I could always just turn into a wolf.
Well, that is 100% up to you.
Do we have a lot of wolves around here?
Yes.
Just around the quarry?
They'd willingly go near people.
Oh,
Fair enough.
The quarry is out in the middle of the
Well,
woods.
The thing is, a wolf would be less suspicious out there, given that that is becoming very close to where werewolves like to prowl.
Of course.
And there are certainly coyotes in the area, as far as just
and-
people casually seeing one.
Yeah.
And there are absolutely coyotes, and to a casual observer, some might mistake one for a wolf if they didn't know any better.
Well, my question is, does it have to be a wolf? Can it be a coyote, a bobcat, or, a four-legged wild animal that's about the size of, a large dog?
I mean, it could just be a large dog.
Out in the wilderness like that, a coyote would be the least suspicious.
The wolf sounds so much cooler.
Sometimes we can't be
I'm trying
cool.
to see if Maeve can actually change it, or is it just the one permanent thing?
I think you have to pick it when you pick the power. I think. But that's
Yeah,
just me
I
going
think
from my
you have
memory.
to pick it when you pick the power. I can't just went like, bam, coyote now. You know?
I will be right back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like we got everything in a row.
Besides,
You're a wolf.
if a vampire turned into a coyote, the were-coyotes might show up upset.
Very true.
Right
It's
next
not
to
like
the
we have to, it's not like we have to deal with the werewolves, right?
right next to the
Were-coyotes.
were-ravens.
Yeah, them.
Oh, were-coyotes would have been great to pull in, though. I shoot him with a silver bullet. He don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, you thought I was like a werewolf? Nah, bam! Just keeps on trucking.
A lot of were creatures are absolutely terrifying in World of Darkness.
Now,
you ever-
if
Jason, have you ever fought a were bear?
I have not. I've looked at the stats for him though.
They are mean. It's like if you ever wanted to, just throw an M1 Abram on legs at somebody.
I think other than truly ancient kindred, I think they're the strongest thing running around as far as just pure physical strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's literally like. So I heard you like a walking M1 Abrams today.
But
I shall fear. Although
Yeah,
I walk
it
through the
shows
valley of the
change
shadow of
into
death, I shall fear
one
no evil because I have a
type of animal.
60-ton cannon of fuck you.
No. Yeah, I can only turn into a wolf. I can't just change it. So.
well, you can be there as a wolf. Colin can be there as a wolf. You know, the prince will be doing whatever the prince wants to do.
the
Yeah.
prince is like a foot underneath the earth around them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, meld Earth is a thing.
Yeah, I know.
I just got the worst visual. The fighting started. He pops up, goes digla dig.
All right.
Oh my god.
We're
All right. So, is there
nerds,
anything
Jason.
else y'all need to go over in your meeting?
No.
Is there anything else you got for us? I mean, it's a pretty solid plan. You got tactical
about it.
nukes over there.
I mean, as far as I can think of, Alexander would have no new information. If anything, he would.
By the way, Samuel, if need be, I can also bring a little bit more arsenal, as it were.
Couldn't
I have-
hurt to arm others.
Well, of course, I've expanded my personal armory a bit, and on top of that, I did come across a lovely item. Probably too old that you remember from the war, but back in the medieval time, it was a glorious thing.
Crossbow?
Correct.
You plan on firing stakes with that thing, aren't you?
You bet your sweet kindred ass I am.
Not a phrase I ever wanted to hear out of a Nosferatu, but okay.
I mean, if you don't prefer the stakes, I happen to have found something that looks almost like a replica of your rifle that fires dragonfire rounds.
My shotgun?
Yes, actually.
That would help. That's
Why,
about all I had, though. We're gonna try to do this tomorrow at around midnight.
Again, I'll get as prepared as I can and try to cloak Blackjack.
Samuel,
Yes?
about the directive thing, do you know if it's a one and done type of thing, or do you know if it's like if it's just a thing that's gonna keep happening?
That would depend upon the intent. More powerful users of domination can have it extend beyond one command, as far as I know. I know my sire is rather skilled in the art. I'd have to ask him to give you any for sure answers.
Well, I just don't like the idea of just we leave here and I'm calling the prince again and I'm driving over towards wherever the hell we were by when we fought the Bali and having another fucking meeting.
What were you discussing before this triggered for you to call?
This was when we were talking about Grandmother Dorcas and her secret.
And you immediately just whipped out your phone.
No. This was on the drive back home. I just kind of like didn't go home. Next thing I know, I'm somewhere else.
Could it be the fact of what we discussed in the meeting about the whole plan of Grandmother Dorcas?
It's possible. If you were the one that told him, the prince already knew about what was happening. So,
Samuel, I'm getting a bad feeling. Forgive me, it's just... If that was the case, if Blackjack called the prince, him and Grandmother Dorcas are close to one another.
yes.
I should have more faith in the prince. But do you think he could have said anything out of sheer compassion to her, knowing that they have a bond?
I don't know.
Right now, that is what's... If my heart could ache, I am afraid that feeling would be coming back of sudden dread. Dread? Was that the
Yes.
feeling?
Dread sounds like a good word.
I do understand. Everything we discussed, he did say he was going to leave out all of the Nosferatu deputies. And given that the command was given to Blackjack immediately after he went to Decatur, it could be something of him maybe using Blackjack as an agent in case something happens like that again, or that there might be a hint of us potentially going anarch or something like that. That could be what happened, I'm not sure.
Do you remember what you told her?
Yeah, I remember what I told them. It was all about Grandmother Dorcas and all the stuff that was going on there. I didn't even mention, Clubhouse.
So it was just what you learned about Grandmother Dorcas and what was happening.
Yes.
And the plan she had.
Yeah.
Well, that seems potentially like the command was for you to report any suspicious or traitorous activity.
Yeah, that's what I can recall that now. I just don't know if it's a recurrent thing or not.
I'd have to ask Messiah for sure. I know from my own experience, it's typically a single command. And then it has to be reapplied afterwards. But he is better with that specific aspect of our powers than I am. I'd have to ask him. And Alexander, I do understand your trepidation. That is why my grandsire being involved is a last resort. And I did tell the prince as such. So if it comes down to it, that I'm given final death, that this coterie is dispersed and everything goes horribly, horribly wrong, my sire is ready to send a letter to my grandsire and get him involved.
Let us hope it does not come to that.
That is also what I hope.
I got potions that we can add to that werewolf blood. At least we'll have some kind of, I don't know, something if we gotta heal up.
Could certainly help. Anyway,
So
that's all I had.
fancy crockpot.
That's all I had. I'm going to let Charybdis know when this is going to be meeting tomorrow.
Should we get there early?
We should follow the plan that the Nosferatu have set out. Just bring a very, very heavy weight to spring the trap.
I mean, since he has to obfuscate Blackjack, should we get there early?
He is supposed to lead me there. I I don't know if he has to be with Blackjack to keep him obfuscated or not.
As far as I'm aware, no, but I'll continue to look into it better.
Right. Well, if that's all, I have to finish up my last preparations. If tomorrow turns out extremely poorly, it's been a pleasure.
Tomorrow turns out poorly, we're all probably dead.
And yes, Blackjack, even you.
Well,
You definitely have your moments, but there's no one else I'd rather have at my back in a fight.
He can't put a price on loyalty.
in any case, if it does go poorly, I agree. It has been a pleasure to work with all of you, and to at least know I had allies besides being below.
Give me one moment, and I'm gonna walk up to the bar. Be like,
Now
I
y'all
know
are in a
this
little
guy's in
conference
on it,
room,
right?
but you'd have to leave. And,
yeah, I'd have to get up and go to the bar or whatever. Do I know that they're in on it?
oh,
As
you
in,
mean
are
the
they aware of the
barkeepers?
Masquerade?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is an Elysium. You have to be careful in the main area because mortals do come in and frequent the business.
Sure, but it's like.
But the
two in
folks running the
morning or
bar,
some
yes,
shit.
yes, they are.
Okay.
They are ghouls or not thin bloods, but they're ghouls or low-ranking kindred.
Sure. So I'll go to one of the person at the bar and be like, can you have some refreshments sent to the doctor's room?
Oh, absolutely. What would you like?
Something bottled, but you know.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
Thank you kindly.
And sure enough, you have
just-
something
yeah,
drinkable by all of you.
And I'll come up to all of you and just be like, just a little something, just in case. This is all ass hurrah.
Samuel would stop the barkeeper. Could we have one more glass?
He fetches you a glass.
He'll pour out a glass, and then he'll sort of lean out the door and just...
Cryptus was leaned against the wall. He flexes his wings, gonna push himself forward and trots over.
Join us.
Might as well. Delicately takes
I'm picturing this big stony asshole, like Goliath on crack or something. Gargoyles.
Horrible, like, description. A big stony asshole.
just a bit.
like Goliath on steroids from Gargoyles.
Yeah.
So the gargoyles were made partially using nos, which is why they had the kind of disfigured look.
Sure.
And Charybdis, I believe I have described him as being kind of he is kind of stony and craggy looking. As far as his basic look, though, think Marv from Sin City.
Okay.
With like stony protrusions and stuff and the big ass wings. You know, he is a big dude that was turned into one of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, kind of gives me like Cable vibes.
Kinda, yeah.
Or beefier.
Cable's pretty beefy.
So, this is sort of a last hurrah drink in case tomorrow goes poorly.
A toast to success.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Some minimal, really fucking weird hurrahs after this.
That is the hope. And Charybdis. My thanks.
I do what the prince tells me.
I'd appreciate it all the same.
He puts his glass up. It's just like this.
Samuel.
All right, I'm on, everyone.
Yeah.
Clank the damn thing.
Clink.
Yeah. Oh,
Can't drink that on Twitch.
after they drink. Charybdis, it appears to be going down tomorrow at midnight.
I will let the prince know. We will have our forces ready.
Thanks. You also let him know that the Banu Haqim have offered to lend me their warriors as well, just in case.
You say they offer. How, are you going to bring them, or?
I am undecided.
Huh.
Given that the prince has commandeered this mission, it is extra forces that I can contract to help even the odds more in our favor.
I doubt the prince would have any issue with it.
All the same, I just wanted to be sure that it didn't interfere with any plans he might have had.
I will let him know, and I'm sure we'll contact you if it's an issue.
Of course. He'll shoot a quick text to Abla and said, I may be meeting with your father about those security forces after all. I'll let you know more.
Do you need me to set up a meeting with him?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I guess, like, if it happens tonight, he'll go and set up, like, a provisional contract as a... If the prince does okay it, then he will.
Okay. And you get a time back. She's like, he's here at the college tonight. You can come by. Between come by at this time, and he can meet with you in his office.
Of course.
Bruce and
Anya. Yes.
They'll be on hand to discuss it. Since it's really them you'd be making an agreement with.
Right.
If we disperse, then Blackjack goes back to his farm. And he's like, Bethany, Bessie, Michaela.
Gosh,
been
you
Nana.
named them all. I didn't know you named them all. I thought it was just the one.
They're all sitting there
Nana.
trying to sleep. They just crack one eye at you.
I've been nothing but I've tried my best to be a good caretaker for you all. And
Sure.
if I don't make it back tonight, well, you've got a bunch of different other people looking after y'all.
You ain't been taken care of, and they barely remember you now. Cow brains. They only remember the person that fed them.
I'll leave them some oats or something to just.
Now they remember you.
Like, oh, that guy.
Yeah,
I thought you just
the oat guy that would come by and leave hickeys on us. I don't know what's going on there. He was kind of creepy. Maybe we're better off without him. Alright, so for the rest of this night, y'all disperse, go about your business. Samuel, you have a meeting set up with Obla's father, whose name I totally remember.
Doesn't it start with like an A?
Yeah, I remember they both started with A's. Arif.
Yeah. And he will go to meet with them.
All right. So you go to you go to Calhoun. Abla meets you outside. Leads you to her father's office.
Sir?
Dr. Samuel.
Yes.
Pleasure to see you again. He gets up, shakes your hand.
Shake his hands well. It is a pleasure as well.
Abla takes her. Abla takes her leave. She got to get to a class she's supposed to be teaching. Bruce and Anya are in his office already. They both give you a nod. Arif shuts the door behind you. Have a seat, Doctor.
He'll take a seat.
Abla has filled us in on the basics of what's going on. I've been going over the research you've given me. It's disturbing what may be under this city?
Best as I can tell, I believe it might be a Methuselah.
Most likely. I mean, there are other old and powerful creatures, but based on what you've seen in your visions, based on the thoughts you were given access to in one of them, I would say it's a pretty safe bet. If it's something hiding from the calling and hiding from the sun, it's not entirely surprising to me, though. Part of the reason that we came here was we had rumors of one of the old ones having traveled to this part of the world. Not Huntsville specifically. And we had... You know, our clans and your house have had a very stormy history together.
Yes.
So prior to our entry into the Camarilla, we've of course at times spied on the Tremere. On all the clans, truthfully.
Given your clan's reputation, I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm. And it's not as though all of us in the Camarilla don't spy on each other. You know,
of course.
Let's just cut through the BS.
Mm-hmm.
Your Chantry indicator. We had reason to believe they had run across an artifact. Related to this creature.
I see.
Some of our scholars, prior to the reawakening of Herschel Gee and the division that has overtaken the children of Hakim, had been seeing visions of this area, of events taking place. They were not clear as your visions have been. Very symbolic. The sort of visions that are hard to truly understand until they've already come to pass.
Did any mention a dragon by any chance?
Yes.
You've had quite a few of those popping up lately.
Yes, I've read through, because I think your notes also mentioned the stuff
Yeah.
may have been discovered.
I also mentioned that one of the thoughts that he picked up from this supposed Methuselah is that he was concerned about the dragon hunting.
It's interesting that all the symbolism is using that same... Even the creature itself thinks of this pursuer as a dragon.
Perhaps
We're
it's
curious as to what that means.
could be some cult or kindred or other supernatural beings that have some ties to a dragon.
It's possible. Certainly there have been kindred that use the dragon motif. Vlad comes immediately to mind. Though we're reasonably certain he is not in the area.
I would certainly hope not.
But not all of their visions about this valley have necessarily involved that there seems to be many things in motion in this area.
Yes.
There's the dragon, there's the creature. One vision involved two beasts fighting. It's shadowy and hard to see. This vision did not specifically identify one as a dragon. But then while this was going on, there was a child crying, an infant.
Was there a woman anywhere in there?
Not that they saw in the vision. Obviously, if there's an infant, there's been a woman involved at some point.
Well, yes. But there was the Laban. They told me that they were here looking into someone else that is in the city. Apparently,
kindred?
what? No, Kine. Apparently, she is one of, I think they said 12 people that are supposedly the salvation of the world.
I think it was 36. But
36, that's right. Me, the player, going.
numbers hard.
Yeah, one of 36 that as long as they're, I think as long as they're around, as long as they're alive, the world would not end.
Oh, the 36 righteous.
Yes, that.
I have heard of kind mystics that are fixate on such things. Religious mystics. Predominantly a Jewish tradition, I believe.
I have learned that that woman is expecting.
I believe we live in interesting times, Doctor.
I believe we do as well.
Does this Laban have any ideal what the importance of this? What is the significance of this woman and her child?
I haven't met with him as of lately, considering everything. But
Yes,
he
you seem
is,
to have a full plate.
but everyone that reports to him is convinced that she is one of the 36.
But how does that tie to the dragon?
You mentioned the child and beasts fighting, and it just,
Oh, yes, yeah. He's like, yes, I understand.
if she's supposedly one of these 36, that if die could spell the end of the world, her dying with leaving an infant child could potentially trigger some sort of beast to fight. I don't know.
Or it all ties into the coming of Gehenna.
That is true.
He reaches back, opens some cabinets, and there's a safe built in, small, but a safe built into some of his cabinets behind his desk. He spins the dial. When it opens, he pulls out a book. On this book, there's a silver skull surrounded by smaller silver skulls. You recognize it as the Book of Nod. Not an ancient one. This is one of the ones that Beckett and his sire assembled. I think it was essentially outlawed when it was first released.
Yeah.
But with the Camarilla admitting to the existence of the antediluvians now, where before they were trying to make out like they were just mythical, they have lightened up a lot. Plus, you have the Church of Cain is much more dominant. Though interestingly, not in Huntsville.
copy of the Book of Nod. Interesting.
He flips it open. I really wish I'd found where I have my copy. I've actually got the prop version. There is a verse that speaks of the last daughter of Eve. This woman's name wouldn't be Eve, would it?
Is it?
No.
I don't think we gave her a name.
She has a name.
Does she?
I thought she had a name.
You got her
I
name
don't
off
know
her
what it
mailbox
is.
and looked it up. Yeah, I'm blanking on exactly what it is, but yes, you have her name. Yeah, her name is not Eve.
Her name is not Eve, no.
Well, it could be referencing the biblical Eve, so it might be the last woman. And of course, this book is old and it's been assembled from fragments and it's been scattered and people have attempted to destroy it. There's no telling how the name has been translated over time.
Right.
Anyway, he starts reading passages. I know I've quoted at the beginning of the session. I've quoted some of the stuff on her, but of course, some of us think that Gehenna has been unfolding for some time now, since the Week of Nightmares. But where we had all that believed, thought Gehenna would happen all at once, much like the mortals think of Armageddon coming down on them.
Right.
Many of us are now beginning to think that it's going to be stretched out. That it may not even be the end, it may simply be a very turbulent period before we go into some sort of new era.
It's possible.
Oh, well. So, things to keep an eye on for certain.
Of course.
And you know where this woman is at in the city?
I do. She is within my domain.
And that explains why the Libon got you involved, I see.
Yes, I've been keeping an eye on it. Have some contacts maintaining vigilance.
Okay. If you find anything definitive on the subject, I'd appreciate appreciate you letting me know.
Of course. Considering we are both of the Camarilla now, I would prefer our clans at least have a working relationship together.
I'm not sure that your Primogen feels the same.
I have been told many times that I am odd for a Tremere.
That is not necessarily a bad thing. No offense to your clan.
No, of course. I mean, if you knew who my grandsire was, you'd definitely be. Never mind.
He gives you a look when he apparently decides not to ask. But on to the more pressing matters of this meeting that you have tomorrow.
Of course.
As you know, my clan once worked on a very contractual basis. While we were under the curse Tremere had put on us, it limited how we could feed. So we would take our contracts paid in blood.
Yes.
He actually pulls out a contract. And I completely forget exactly what the Assamites charge. I thought I had the Assamite clan book, but I haven't been able to find it. But it is a fair amount of blood that you owe them. I can't remember if it's just mortal blood or if it had to be kindred. But it is pricey. I mean, you're gonna have to. It's something that you will have to put some effort into paying them.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce and Anya are understanding that you wouldn't have the amount on you currently because this has come about so quickly. Under normal circumstances, that means they wouldn't take it. But given the nature of what's going on, the fact that you're at least kind of low key an ally, it would get them in good with the prince if they helped out, potentially. Basically, they're willing to open a tab for you. You know, you'll have to start paying on it, almost immediately, but you don't have to have the sum all at once.
What is the sum? Since he's looking at it.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to look up find the Asimite clan book somewhere.
Okay.
There's Asimite contract prices.
Hey.
It's like the thing you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's on a forum, so.
That's true, we do.
True, but how much of that stuff's any good anymore?
All of it now, actually.
Oh, that's right.
Thanks for Jolene.
You didn't have a large amount of that, though.
23 vials.
Yeah.
Oh, Jolene, you're the best doctor's assistant ever.
See, if I would have waited and taken sunk 25 points into alchemy again, I could brew a potion to bring someone out of torpor, but it takes months to brew, so that would have been maybe worked eventually.
Assassinations of mortal targets are usually paid in cash, although at exorbitant rates. $250,000 US per hit is cheap for an Asimite killer.
Yeah, but that's going up against a mortal,
Yeah.
That's paying him to go get some lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Well, is it really difficult to kill a Methuselah? Many canon NPCs do have beautiful stats, but I think it's not that hard. They spend at least a millennium not getting killed, so... yeah.
So yeah, one suggestion here is using blood points from the older version of the system, but
Yeah.
he was talking about 5 blood points for kind of a, I guess, run of the mill kind of guy. Of course, you're not hiring them. You're not hiring them to assassinate anybody, particularly active security.
Yeah.
So, think of it as, we'll say 5 rouse checks worth of blood per warrior.
Okay. Given what you've said that the fresh vials of werewolf blood for, that is 10 vials of werewolf blood.
How many vials did y'all have?
23.
Okay. Then yeah, you bring up the werewolf blood, they're like,
Yes. I have from our previous battles with the lupine. I do have many vials of werewolf blood that is being kept fresh by my coterie.
I assume you picked this up from the. I assume this is from the wolf that you had killed. Let's see, was it before they showed up or after they showed up that y'all fought the werewolf?
It's a little bit before, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I had heard that your coterie had killed a lupine, as we were arriving in town.
Yes. This is one that had ventured very deep into the city itself.
And the blood is still fresh.
Yes.
I've heard that lupine blood had odd qualities. I've never studied it in depth myself, but...
Well, I can, said 5 each, correct? Or a considerable amount.
Yeah, they have whatever amount
Would-
that would turn out to be, a pint
Well,
apiece or a couple quarts apiece.
Given the potency of werewolf blood, in comparison to others, would 5 vials each suffice?
Once you describe the size of the vials, yes, assuming the stuff is still fresh, which they're taking you at your word. Now Arif is looking at at this point it's Bruce and Anya doing more of the talking to you. You mentioned the werewolf blood; they're interested, and they look at Arif and he explains it tends to be more potent.
I would caution that with my studies of it, it is easier to lose yourself to a frenzy after having imbibed werewolf blood.
Bruce is like, the ones I've encountered always seem to be pretty pissed off, so I guess that makes sense.
Yes.
But and there's a little bit of haggling that goes on, but you eventually cut the deal. 5 vials apiece, they'll do it. So they'll go with you on this mission, and if things don't go well and you need continued protection, this price will cover basically a week.
Right.
They'll act as extra security around you for a week. At which point you just have to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
To continue the contract.
Right.
Now, before you showed up, you had been talking about potentially just setting this up as a just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Are you basically just putting them on call?
Yeah, for right
in case
now.
you call them tomorrow?
He mentioned that the prince himself has gotten involved, and he's basically has informed me that both of his gargoyles, Scylla and Charybdis, as well as himself, will be going with me directly into the quarry. He'll have all of the Bruja that are under his command nearby. My sire has also offered to come along, as well as my Coterie, and I believe the Gangrel member of my Coterie, her sire, has also offered.
Oh, that would be Colin. I've met him.
Yes. I informed Charybdis that it is an option that we could take, as considering the prince has decided to run this himself, given it is a breach of his laws of hospitality, being the prince, that somebody else commanding final death on someone.
Yes, I can definitely see why the prince would be interested.
So I told Charybdis it's an option to form the prince, and based on what I hear from him, probably tomorrow, before all this goes down, I will, yay or nay, I will call. If it turns
Bruce
out
and Don, you're like, since we'll have to be ready to go, since we'll have to be prepped to go regardless, if we're not called, just for our time and being ready, a vial apiece.
That's fair.
All right. Arif writes up the contract.
Samuel will sign it.
I want to say you traditionally sign with blood, so there's like a little...
I was gonna say,
Oh,
does
yeah,
anyone
he
sign
will.
with blood?
He'll just, and then he'll write.
Yeah, and they both sign. Rather than a contract apiece, it's just one contract that everybody signs.
Mm-hmm.
They get this much apiece, and
Right.
they divide it up however they feel like. That's not your concern. And, after you're done, as you're leaving, you hear Bruce say, well, at least, 5 vials apiece, that's 10 vials. That at least makes tithing easy.
And he'll pause, he'll glance back to Arif, and it was like, I told your daughter this when I met her earlier. If things go poorly tomorrow, I just want to let you know this has definitely been interesting, getting to know more about your clan.
It has, Doctor. You have not been what I would have expected. Alejandro, on the other hand, pretty well fits the stereotype.
Yes. He's been rather incensed about your presence here.
Many have been.
My sire did caution me about trusting you.
We have not had an amicable history.
Of course. He probably remembers a lot of it, considering he's as old as Dorcas is.
He'd remember some of it then.
Nonetheless, whatever the outcome, it has been a pleasure.
It has been, Doctor. There's a round of everybody shaking hands as you leave.
Have a good night.
And, Bruce and Anya give you a number that you can contact them.
Right.
They're like, if you need us, just text the address.
Mm-hmm.
And what time,
Right. Last thing he'll do is when he gets back home, he'll send a text to his sire. He'll say, I guess keep grandfather on standby, but the community head has informed me that if you do call grandfather, you're expected to leave with him.
I wouldn't expect anything else. That's yeah, you throw that big a rock into the pond, you're gonna make a lot of waves.
He snickers and it's like, Father, that's not a rock you're throwing. You're throwing an entire mountain into the pond. Which would be impressive either way. But anyway, that's all I had for the night. Getting everything set up.
So all y'all spend y'all's miscellaneous, evening doing your evening prep. Praying about it, whatever y'all do.
Samuel actually would, yeah.
The sun rises, the sun sets. Jolene works, does her college and works at the Waffle House.
Math homework is still due tomorrow, if I'm dead or not.
Right. Everybody give me another rouse check to see if y'all go into this fight any hungrier than you currently are.
I'd say that is a mood. About to go into
6 months.
About to go into the fight of our lives. This math homework, though.
Oh, definitely not hungry.
25 crockpots in the background trying to work on math homework. This is bullshit.
Slaving around away on the algebra. When is anybody ever going to need this?
You just hear ding! Oh, my potence is ready.
Oh, the diffraction potion's good. Okay.
Time to go to the big fight. Oh, thank God.
I'd
rather go get fireballs hurled at me
I
than
don't have to worry
deal
about
anymore
this.
with this algebra.
Pretty much, he's like, on the upside, if I die, I don't have to turn in this essay.
Yeah. Fight's over. You're still standing. Ah, crap. That means I gotta go finish.
Yeah.
Not only do I gotta go feed, I gotta go finish this damn thing. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
But Maeve is gonna try to hunt to at least have only one hunger going into the fight.
All right. So Samuel didn't get no hungrier. Jolene didn't get no hungrier.
I'll let it ride. I'm not hungry, but
Brave man.
Actually,
brave man.
So.
I'm at 2 hungry. What?
Yes, I'm saying Maeve's at 2 hunger, but she's going to go eat. To go be
Alexander.
1.
I'm up at 2 hunger, but Mama didn't raise no fool. My happy ass is gonna
Go get a rat burger.
Well, I've already tapped my herd, so
Actually, this is this is a new week. I'll just fucking tap my herd for the
Okay.
last time, perhaps.
I mean, can I tap my herd?
How many points do you have in it?
2.
I think
But
I think you could tap it one more time then.
I mean, if it's cool, well, I'll tap it one more time, bring it down to 1 hunger,
Okay.
or bring it down to 1.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can tap it like a number of times equal to the. Or maybe not
Just
equal,
go
but
by.
I think with 2 you can do 2.
Just tap it.
Okay.
Gee, what's Samuel doing? What's he rolling dice for?
You don't know.
Okay, so let's see if I eat
The
today.
storyteller probably knows.
Okay. I had a
Okay.
heart attack.
Alright,
Oh. Why do you keep hitting crits on that damn thing?
That's the only
2
reason
crits.
that's the only reason that succeeded.
Yeah.
yeah, 6 successes. There
All right, so
you
you
go.
rolled you rolled your lure of the flames.
So I do have the coal ready.
You made your frenzy check. You passed that without any trouble. You just barely passed the to pull the ritual off, but you did.
He's a little stressed.
So you have your burning coal
day.
that you wrapped in a little bit of aluminum foil stuck in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
May rolled a 4.
You know she's not wrong.
So you ran out and you immediately go to the worst area in the domain. Which, in real life, there's not really that rough an area there. But in the grimmer, grittier, goth punk version of our world that you're in,
Yeah.
you hit the rundown area. You spend about 30 minutes camped out around one of the dealers.
Sarah.
As soon as a lone person wanders up, buys something, and takes off, they're not hard. They're hardly a block away where you're snatching them into an alley.
I'm sorry, it's just how bad this would be to send to a whole bunch of vampires. Just the moon from Majora's Mask, dawn of the final day. 24 hours remain. It's like, it's nighttime.
And she's gonna slake 1 hunger, and then clean the wound, and then disappear into the night again.
After mugging them,
Yeah, after mugging them.
this one didn't
I
have
did
much
my last
cash on it.
time.
Apparently, they spent most of their money.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, just the sheer amount of drug addicts you mug is like enough to get you another dot in resources.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's how she has her dots and resources. She's just mugging druggies.
I
But,
actually think I only have 1 dot. 2 dots.
But you get a couple of you get $10 or $15 off of him and a little baggie of probably meth.
Sellable.
Mm-hmm.
Question mark?
Most of the time, I think she winds up throwing that stuff away. But
I'm just imagining her just like hoarding it all. It's like, oh, I've got all use for this now as combustion equipment.
You know how dragons have cords?
I love the pyromancer
Just
tendencies just
hoarding all
kick
the
in the
drugs.
second I said that.
Just like hoarding all the drugs. Is that what you're saying, Blackjack?
It's just a dragon horde of like cocaine. It's this big mountain.
This is where I have my cocaine.
Okay,
This is
let's
a
stop
crack.
before
Let's
Twitch.
not.
Yeah.
This just turns into Scarface too fast.
Say hello to my little friend, and then Vinny comes out.
Oh God, no.
Alright.
Oh,
Look, you're a
I'll
vampire, you
slice
can't
your
OD.
face off.
unfortunately, it doesn't do anything for you. You have to feed it to somebody else and then feed off of it.
Like contemplated having a.
Let's say, or you learn how to possess people, then you feed it to them, and then you possess them. You're like, yes.
Give me that good shit.
So as you get up and stirring, Charybdis is waiting outside your house. Samuel,
Okay.
clearly obfuscated. He's leaning against like a tree in your front yard. Clearly obfuscated, but he knows you can
Right.
see him, so he ain't fretting about it.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you step out, he'll he'll step up to you. I mentioned you're potentially hiring help. The prince is fine with that. Provided that they'll follow his orders should he give any in the field.
Of course. He'll open up his phone, that number that Bruce and Anya gave him, and say, "I am requesting your services after all."
Oh, yes. So he brings you over to the Deschler home.
Mm-hmm.
The Prince, Lady Deschler are both there. They've got a map of the city open, specifically around the quarry.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, Doctor.
Prince, my lady.
We're going to have the sheriff. Well, the sheriff would be in the room too. No, we're going to have the sheriff and his deputies waiting at Stoner Park.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hiring the Assamites, I'd assume they'd be there too.
I am. I'll inform them they will be under your command for any orders given once they arrive.
You can go ahead and summon them here, and they can travel with us.
Of course. And he'll text them and say, would like to meet them in your home here, or...
Yes, this is fine.
He'll tell them to meet him at the Deschler home. He won't say like meet him at the Deschler home. He'll just say meet me at this address. But...
Then you see the prince motion to one of the ghouls, and the ghoul walks off to, presumably at the gatehouse know to let him in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to throw the map up where people watching can see it.
Ruh-roh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Production
it's
value.
just the picture though, so I can't actually click on it.
Well, still.
Next campaign, I'll have a window where I can show maps.
I have one with a window. I could have sent it to you.
Oh, remind me
So
after
next campaign.
session tonight.
Yeah. After we all die.
Ouch.
Oh, what do you know? The campaign ended early. Direbear's
Guess
first
we're gonna
TPK.
wait. I guess we're gonna wait 6 weeks for.
Heck with that.
It's
Campaign
like-
ends early. I'm gonna be making a push.
Well, hey, now voting is still ongoing. We don't know what we're playing next.
Hmm.
Sierra, where they're like, you got any more of that D&D?
Right, just like
All right. Anywho, so everybody gathers up. Just to let you know, Scylla and Charybdis will of course be overhead. I will be creeping in myself. If Dorcas is betraying us, I want to see it with my own eyes.
Of course.
I don't say that to put any doubt on you, Doctor,
I understand.
but I've known Dorcas a long time. I have to be certain.
I understand. Alexander has also offered to use his talents to obfuscate Blackjack and himself, and I believe Maeve has offered to shift into a wolfen form to also come along.
She'll need to be careful if she can still be seen.
Yes. I believe Alexander, from what it was explained, can effectively hide the rest of the coterie.
Yes, I can, at the extent of my strength.
As he just pops up in the room.
Well, I'm assuming as this is going on, everybody's been showing up.
Okay.
We got summoned? Okay.
Yeah. You would
Well,
have.
Yeah.
I figured we
we're
were
all
make the-
summoned.
I'm sorry. Just the thought of just us talking about that, and then just Alexander's like, well.
And then,
Well, you see,
that's the time he gets punched in the face.
But he's punched in the face by Samuel because Samuel's gotten used to not being able to be snuck up on. Ah, how'd you do that? Well, I just stood behind you the entire time.
So it only does like one
I thought you
damage.
could see me.
But no, as you're around strategizing,
Yeah.
the prince gives Alexander a hard look and then looks over at Samuel. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Do you trust Alexander enough to have him escort the rest of the coterie in?
You didn't have to tell me what Dorcas was planning. He didn't have to warn me. He didn't have to do anything he's done. He didn't have to get the Tremere book that Dorcas took from the remains of our chantry. He didn't have to negotiate for that to bring it back to me either. I trust him. I mean, he'll have to be there anyway, because as far as they're aware, he's the one there. But
I think maybe Blackjack could kill him if it came to that. Or at least subdue him.
Very well. Is your life on the line?
at this point, I believe he's probably the only Nosferatu I would trust.
Ooh.
Up to a point, as normal for Kindred.
As long as you're certain. And he's your neck in this noose, after all.
I would prefer it not be there at the end of the night.
And with that, you break out. Like I said, or like the prince said, he wants to see what's going on. He lets everybody know, when Samuel is attacked, if Samuel is attacked, then everybody dogpiles, basically. Everybody currently there begins fighting defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And he gestures to the coterie. One of you, presumably being hidden by Alexander, can send a message down to the sheriff, and they'll come driving up to back us up.
Jolene will volunteer for that. She'll probably have taken the fly potion, so she could make a beeline as the crows fly.
Flying well obfuscated is not bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, the gargoyles love it.
Yeah. There's 3 of us up here now?
Jolene just like,
The only real thing I would do to prep is just activate potence when we get into the scene. We're all cloaked and stuff.
Yeah, I'll be doing some checks myself for that.
Okay.
like Nima.
All right, so y'all start driving. As y'all load up new vehicles, the sheriff steps over to you, Jolene, since you volunteered. He hands you a walkie-talkie. And you know how a lot of walkie-talkies have that button that just sends a beep to the other side?
Oh God.
That's all you've got to do. You do the beep, they're on their way.
Alright.
Okay.
He's like, don't talk over the walkie-talkie. We don't know who might, this close to the arsenal, there's no telling who's listening in.
Yeah, one beep. Will
That
leave
is
this
very
thing.
true. I forgot this place was that close to a military base.
Well, the entire city is close by, but
Yeah.
But
It's in particular, I forgot how close it was to the military base out here. I'm about to say, you could bet the Second Inquisition is all over that place.
well, they probably have their figures in. After all, they are the ones that burnt down the original chantry. But
Yeah.
the general belief is, among the kindred of the city, that they managed to lay low enough that the Inquisition has moved on, thinking they must have taken out, the main nest.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's just paranoid about,
Well,
alerting
they have
anybody.
it once. They can always have it again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime some kindred comes up missing, maybe the Inquisition got him. They have become the boogeyman for, the boogeymen.
Reminds me of that thing that you posted in Tuesday Chat of the Terminator.
I don't think I posted that one. That one was somebody else.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Mortal hunters who know exactly what they're doing. Terminator with a massive assault rifle. Little girl crying under this. That one kindred who wasn't careful enough.
Oh, jeez.
That is one thing that bothers me in V5. Not that they've talked a lot about what's going on with the werewolves, but the werewolves are still there. They haven't mentioned the hunters from Reckoning.
Yeah. The hunters from Reckoning are terrifying.
But they better get you. But they better get you by surprise.
Yeah, if they catch you by surprise, you're done. As a kindred, if you get caught by surprise by a hunter, you're done.
That was one thing I loved about that game, or reading through it, is the way their powers worked was not on the same scale as everybody else's.
Mm-hmm. They're very much ambush predators.
Yeah, but they couldn't go just toe to toe, round after round in a fight.
No.
It's got to be first round, get maximum damage, done.
First damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of it's kind of like if you had an all rogue party in D&D. Well, we didn't kill the enemy the first round. Time to run.
Yeah, basically.
Nope, the surprise round didn't go well. Let's get out.
Basically, yeah.
My bad, let's try again.
Hunters are a lot of fun to play.
Sir, to be fair, we're still trying to decide if we're ever going to do a campaign full of clerics and call them the Amen.
That's true.
I don't know how that would be to play, but I love the concept.
Just a group of clerics. Nothing else. No barbarian, no fighter, no nothing. Just a group of clerics.
I know one or two of the guys involved with the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. I know they have at a couple of cons run Mission Imbartable. It's 5e where everybody's playing a bard.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That really is Mission Imbartable.
Mm-hmm. Each bard is specialized in different skills, but
how did they get out of the first town without seducing the entire city?
How they got out of the first town.
I know nothing about the mission they went on. Only the team.
I'll have to look at that after
Or
this.
that one of them ended up with a dragon for a wife, another with a demon.
Probably, but I don't know. All right, so y'all drive over to Stoner Park.
Great.
The prince knows about Samuel's ability to see those that are obfuscated. I mean, it's obviously not something Charybdis would keep a secret.
Yeah.
So he has you in the first car on lookout.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! I'm good for once.
Okay, so...
I gotta do like 3 of those. Shit.
Yeah.
All right. Hold up just a second. We'll cover it all at once. I mean, Blackjack's already rolled his. But... so everybody gets pulled into Stoner Park. You don't see anybody watching you.
Mm-hmm.
The prince steps out of the car. Yeah, kicks off his shoes, takes his shirt off. It's like he goes into battle with just his slacks.
Yep.
I kind of I motion over wherever Samuel is. I go to him and it's like, now that's a man going to war.
Like you haven't done that often enough.
He usually has his hair kind of pulled back. He pulls that off, so it's just kind of...
It's down. Blackjack's honestly dressed pretty similarly.
Yep.
That's true. Blackjack has a disregard for shirts as well, doesn't he?
Let's see, so...
So real quick, Blackjack, just to let you know, and I've got the ability pulled up, the Cloak of the Gathering.
Yeah.
So essentially what it is if I can do a rouse check plus what is equal to my wits,
Mm-hmm.
and the obfuscate power used for the group is known to the user and every member of the group. So say like I cloaked you and Jolene. All 3 of us can see each other.
Yep.
So we're aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
However, the obfuscating vampires rating is that of their own for use the obfuscation vampires rating as their own for the roll. So if someone's trying to see you, you would use my obfuscation number.
Sure. That's fine. That makes sense.
Versus theirs. But members of the group can still perceive each other while under the effect of the power if anyone besides the user is revealed, either through their own doing
or an astute observer, the rest of the group remains hidden. But if
Good.
the user is revealed, so is everyone else. So as long as I don't do anything,
If Alexander gets spotted, everybody gets spotted.
Sure.
Follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to remain in physical contact with us for us to remain obfuscated?
Nope.
Okay.
Literally, it just says the vampire can extend their power of obfuscation to a number of additional willing subjects equal to their wit, +1 for each additional rouse check made. So I have to use a rouse check to use the amount of my wit to cloak people. If I want to do more than my 2 wits, I have to keep rolling rouse checks to keep on going.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you have does your being cloaked use one of your wits, or does
No, it's the additional.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you can
So,
get
like-
me and me and Jolene. You just have to roll another one for say
It-
Maeve.
If I wanted to get Maeve, I have to do another rouse check. But if I just
Right.
want to get me and 2 other people, just one rouse check done.
Sounds good.
It doesn't say whether if I pass or fail, it does anything. It just says
No, it's just a matter if you get hungrier or not when you do it. That's all.
pretty much.
There's nothing in there that I saw about how close together you have to be.
No, it
So as long as one of you doesn't go taking off, I mean, if one of you took off across the city, yeah, eventually you're gonna get too far away and whatever. But
Yeah.
But to say like I cloaked everybody now, but see, that's where I was thinking was, we're saying that I need to be there to bring Samuel to the spot.
did you say you were leading him there, or that you had just told him there was something there and he needed to check it out?
I just told him that there was something there.
Okay, that's what I was thinking you had told
you
me.
don't have to.
Yeah, because Grandmother
leading him.
Grandmother
true.
Dorcas just said I had to convince him to go
Right.
and go to the quarry.
So they're not
After
necessarily
that-
expecting you to be there. So
No, as far as they're aware, they're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to go hide because I'm betraying the Coterie, so therefore I don't want to go near the action."
Meanwhile, I'm gonna be right by that cave, like one of them's gonna pop up and they're getting smacked.
Yeah.
well, now the cave entrance that he saw in his vision is not in the quarry.
Right. It's just wherever they are right now.
You just know that there's some sort of entrance to their underground stuff in and around the quarry. Probably some gap down into the cave system or something. All right. So Blackjack, you triggered your
Potence.
potence. All right.
Well, I wanted to do it before I was cloaked.
And which ability was that?
It just allows me. It adds melee damage equal to my potence rating.
Okay.
Now, am I still obfuscating Maeve in wolf form, or is Maeve just going to strut around like a wolf and just do her own thing?
Prowess. Sorry, it's class.
What?
You roboted out for
I
a
was-
second
Oh, I was activating prowess.
there. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if y'all want me to do Jolene. Is Maeve gonna just kind of do her own thing out in the woods, or do I need to obfuscate her as a wolf?
That would be a lot of obfuscating and probably get you hungry. So she'll probably just head out with Colin
Okay.
in wolf form.
So anything you two need to do, Jolene, Blackjack? I know you already did your rouse.
So good mind.
I'm gonna roll my rouse checks for my potions real quick.
Alright.
I'm
So,
activating lethal
Blackjack's
body
rousey is
and prowess. Only prowess requires a rouse check, and then airborne momentum, which requires a rouse check. So 2 rouse checks.
the prince watches with great interest while you start quaffing these potions.
She only gets 1 point hungrier, and she's now probably hovering about 6 inches off the ground.
You get a lot of people looking at you.
Yeah, because the Queen of the Thin Bloods is demonstrating things that they weren't expecting.
Let's see, potence in flight. So I totally hear the fight starts. And I totally hear the Mighty Mouse theme as Jolene comes flying down.
Here
I was
come
feeling
to
right
save
at the
the day.
Valkyries, but okay.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
But I'm gonna activate Defy Bane. Do I do that now or do I do that when I take the damage.
It's an automatic reaction to
Yeah, I
damage.
think you trigger that when you
Okay.
take the damage.
Okay.
You can do it either or.
So,
Also, my my blood of potency failed.
Shit.
What's the difficulty on that?
3. It's 2 plus your potence rating, your blood
Willpower?
potency.
Okay, so you're only going in as potent as you are.
Hmm. Yeah. So I had to get a 4 higher to succeed.
But you didn't get any hungrier trying it, so there's that.
That's true. I could, but I might
Fair
need
point.
that. And the thing is, if I do willpower it, I would have to succeed on every single roll.
Double fair point. Never mind.
So,
well, after seeing everybody do their own thing, Alexander's going to turn to Samuel. So, just hope everything goes well. If not, it has been an honor.
indeed.
He knows he's military, so it is kind of, odd shaped as he is. He kind of clacks his heels and gives as best a salute as he can. Before looking at Blackjack and looking at Jolie, well, you two ready?
Here's to drinks later.
Scylla is watching all this. She looks over at Cryptus. You're right, they are kind of mushy. Y'all are almost
Humanity
morbid.
left in the groove.
We're just gonna go kick some ass. It'll be fine.
He reaches over, touches Blackjack, reaches up, touches Jolene. He doesn't get hungrier, and gone.
I also did not get hungrier just to rouse my blood.
Mhm.
Well, that's a plus.
So I put that extra point into wits, and I'm going to also activate heightened senses. So I will be heightened senses plus sense the unseen. Yeah.
To increase.
Everything.
I'd say this man's got sonar active. He's got.
Yeah.
Eyes dilate like a cat's. Like,
He's punching me and I can see the dice he's rolling. It's freaky.
I'm sure the prince
Okay.
and everybody is quite surprised to see
All right.
3 people just go.
No, because that was part of the strategizing. He knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Uh,
The others.
As you do that, Scylla and Cryptus, they take off, and then once they're up, kind of out of sight, they obfuscate. Because not everybody can do that when somebody's staring at them.
Yep.
The prince drops down into wolf form, heads towards the quarry, obfuscates as soon as he's out of sight.
Assume Maeve and Colin do the same.
Well, maybe even Colin don't obfuscate, but yeah.
But yeah.
There's like just 4 wolves somewhere.
3. Only 3
Okay.
gangrels.
It's okay, math's hard.
numbers, man, numbers.
And Samuel will go.
Alright, so, and following behind, so Alexander is following you, or was walking with you, obfuscated.
Mhm.
Blackjack is obfuscated and walking with you. And who was the other one you obfuscated?
Jolene.
Jolene. Who's basically floating there above y'all.
Yeah, she's essentially.
Now,
just
are you
hovering.
following with them, or are you going on ahead, kind of like the gargoyles are?
She's probably sticking with them,
Okay.
about 10 feet above them. She just has this. She has their same speed that she would like walking or running.
Okay,
Just
okay.
flying now.
So you don't fly as fast as the gargoyles can.
No, it doesn't increase any speed. It's just the same speed as her regular movement would be.
It's just maneuverability.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one more rouse to raise my strength.
Okay.
Don't get hungrier. Hell yeah.
I did want to ask you one question. With your potence, how have we been doing that? Have you been adding your potence dice as extra, or potence dots as extra dice?
My potent knots have been extra dice.
Okay, that is not how that works.
Oh,
I was listening to
just straight up
a.
new damage.
That's just straight extra damage on the punch.
Oh,
Uh,
I like that better.
I was listening to a podcast where the dude was talking. Guy's a big white wolf guy, and he was talking to one of the women that works for Onyx Path, and that was something specifically they were discussing when they were talking about misreading rules and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something I wanted to check on because I was thinking we'd been doing it wrong too.
We've been doing it wrong, but it's fine.
How's it
I
do
like
now?
this.
Because I also activated them.
The dots of potent you get do not add to your dice pool.
Okay.
They're just that much extra damage when you punch something. They're like auto successes to the damage. It doesn't make you better at hitting. It's just when you hit,
You just
hit
hit
harder.
harder.
So it would be like her thin blood, since it's her thin blood. Giving her this would be her thin blood rank. Would
Right.
be extra points.
Right.
Oh hell.
So,
Yeah.
so
I'm
essentially,
level 4 thin blood for alchemy. So
Yeah, that's fine.
so that means
Theoretically,
essentially
punch
that's
harder
4
than
more
Blackjack.
dots or 4 more points of damage when you come around and clock somebody.
Yes.
love it.
Just imagine people like, this thin blood, what's she gonna do? Hit somebody, just like that's Superman's just into
She
the
just fly down
parkour
and
wall.
punch somebody in half. Yeah, who is that? That's
Captain
Jolene,
Marvel.
god of the thin bloods.
Mm-hmm. Keep
All
them
right.
in line.
You are definitely going to have some people looking at you funny though once if you start whipping that out.
Yeah.
Now she made out like thin blood alchemy. It wasn't something all that stout. Look at this.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna try to hurt her dad. Come on now.
But all right, so you cross the street,
Mhm.
and it's a decent little walk. You know, the quarry is kind of up on top of this small mountain that they've been digging down into.
Yeah.
So it's a decent walk. You know, you're supposed to be meeting kind of back in this back area.
Mm-hmm.
But for those watching at home, kind of at the top of the map, not kind of close to that top little pond you can see.
And he's there in his like thick biker gear because it looked weird having somebody drive up in a really nice car into a quarry. So. And while he's walking, he's going to be keeping an eye out for things, and an ear technically because Nosferatu.
Okay, roll me a. All right. Awareness.
What's awareness?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay then.
All right. So that is
9 successes? No.
There's 3 10s in there.
8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
11 successes?
all right. 11 successes versus their 3. Once you get about halfway up, you're now being tailed. There were 2 Nosses basically hiding on each side of the path you're on.
Mm-hmm.
I say path. It's like almost like a gravel driveway. It's wide enough for dump trucks. So
See, me just think you're imagining all those rolls is like it's just the combo of heightened senses and sense the unseen just smashing together.
See into the Matrix.
Oh god. I don't want permanent AR vision.
But
Thing's green.
but there's a Nos on either side of the road, and they're moving very stealthily. They're being very careful. It's like they're not depending, not trying to depend entirely on their obfuscate. You don't recognize either one of them.
Right.
But by the same token, not a whole lot of Clan Nosferatu show up at the Elysiums.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a
He's only
demand
met
for
a few
everybody.
anyway. He's met like the deputies and those 2 that he had
Yes,
like
yes.
distract the police and Alexander and Dorcas. That's all he's met really.
And the whip. The whip shows up at Elysium fairly often.
That's right, he has, yeah. But now that it's confirmed that there are Nos tailing him, he's going to keep it coiled up inside, but he is going to crush the ember in his pocket. He's not going to show any outward sign of the ember activating.
But you are fired up. Gotcha.
He is fired up now. Now there is now that it is confirmed that there are Nos tailing him. That was not Alexander.
Yeah, you can see everybody else as well.
Yeah.
Up kind of ahead of you, you can already see Scylla and Charybdis are circling.
Mm-hmm. Do they show any sign of noticing the Nos at all?
No. They're at enough of a distance that, I mean, with your heightened senses, it's not an issue. But,
Yeah.
you know, they're clearly, you know, their heads are on a swivel.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's gonna keep on at a normal pace.
As you start walking past that pond, another Nos falls in.
Okay. He's gonna look around, like, because the story that they know is Alexander told him, hey, there's something here. So he's gonna be looking around like he's trying to find it. Or like he's trying to find something, which is very true. But yeah, he'll just continue on.
So you finally get back here to the back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another awareness roll.
Sure. I almost put strength as the attribute. That was bad. Ugh, only 4 that time.
You flex so hard, people are afraid to hide from you. You get back here, there's at least 4 or 5 Nos hiding in the different rocks.
Okay.
So far, you don't recognize any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Except, you see, you know, the way the quarry is set up, you know, they're cut in levels.
Yep. I'm still here.
Okay.
I just needed to stretch for a bit.
The level up higher than you are,
Mm-hmm.
clearly obfuscated, you know, obfuscated up there, you see the whip and Grandmother Dorcas.
Okay. So it's those 2 plus another 8 Nos?
Grand total, yes. Now, the rest of the Nos are down on your level.
Right.
Like I said, Dorcas and the whip are up higher where they can kind of see everything.
Okay. Okay, also, I just wanted to point out that this will be sort of a reaction Samuel's going to do. If the Nos look like they're going to grab stakes and start jumping at him or whatever, if it looks like any are going to dive into melee combat with him, he's just going to surround himself in fire and just flare it outwards everywhere.
What about everybody that's standing? What about all your buddies that are standing around you?
Well, no, he's going to keep an eye out. Like, if they're next to him, no. But if they're, like, further back...
Well, y'all had time to arrange this ahead of time, so
right, yeah.
if you wanted everybody, you know, everybody's 10 steps behind me.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know.
And he would warn them that would be the plan, is if these Nos do dive at him to attack in melee, he's just going to unleash, like, a nova of fire around him to try to knock them back.
Gonna go straight Jack.
Yeah, basically.
All right. You see you walk forward, you see the whip bring a walkie-talkie up to his mouth.
Do I hear it?
With your heightened senses, yeah, you would hear. Begin.
And Samuel's like, here we go.
The Nos kind of directly in front of you drops their obfuscation.
Oh, well, hello.
Good evening, Doctor.
May I help you?
My name's Brian.
It's good to meet you.
He steps forward and offers to shake hands. He approaches cautiously, like he doesn't want to spook you.
Mm-hmm.
I found something here that when I mentioned it to Alexander, he said he might want to see it. So,
yes, he did mention that.
it's right over this way.
Of course.
And you some of the Nos are back behind you, so you don't see them.
Mm-hmm.
The ones you said at your corner of the eyes are creeping forward.
Okay. And he
And
can probably hear them
they're
now.
not running at you, but it's
Yeah.
a decent pace. They're not, but they're clearly
Probably
trying to
hear
step quietly.
He could probably hear the ones behind him, though.
With the heightened senses, yes, you'd hear the crunching of gravel.
Okay. Right. It's like, oh, well, it's all right. What brings you out here? I'm curious. Thought it'd just be me.
Oh, I thought I would show you the inscriptions we found.
Ooh, interesting. Suppose the underground would be your domain, now that I think about it.
It was in a cave that the digging broke into. We have a lot of our own people here at the quarry. A lot of our kind under our influence in the quarry, in case they were to dig down into our territory.
Well, should this prove eventful, please give Grandmother Dorcas my regards. I do appreciate it.
Give me a insight.
Insight?
Yes.
What else am I rolling with that?
Be one of the charisma E type things. Let's see here. Would it be manipulation or? We're gonna go with manipulation.
Manipulation?
Yeah. Oh,
Something I'm not
just
good at.
just closed roll 20. That wasn't good.
Yeah, that's my good.
Look at all the tents, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh well.
I meant to close the character sheet I had pulled up, and I just ended up closing the browser. Or that
Good job.
tab of the browser.
So, one success, because I only have 3 dice in that.
Okay.
He's not a manipulator.
Well,
Well, it's not his style.
he's not the kind of
he-
subtle manipulator.
Yeah,
it's
he's
do
the
thing.
he's the charmer manipulator.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So yeah, insight manipulation, not his.
This guy's a pretty good liar. If you hadn't been hipped ahead of time that this was a trap, you'd totally have believed him.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Fair
comes
enough.
out. He's coming off as a little nervous, but he's clearly a low-ranking guy, and you're Tremere.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think you might have actually bought what he was selling if you didn't know better, didn't see his buddies
Yeah.
creeping up on you.
Yeah.
Blackjack, knowing that Tremere charcoal in his pocket, about to start a supernova. As soon as this one appears, he's gonna off to the side, kind of
Start
just
fanning
give
out.
himself some space. Just give himself some space between Samuel and him.
Oh no, Alexander's done been giving Samuel space. I'm going to keep a good 20, 25
We're
feet.
staying away from the Tremere, who can make a nuclear weapon out of himself.
Yep.
Going up and over.
90-degree angle.
Just not even at the angle, just bip, bip.
All right, he's about to fireball, and you get at least 20 feet away from him, or 30. Which edition is he using?
No, I'm
No,
using
let's just do 30.
I'm using sorcerer rules. The range is doubled.
Oh, Jesus.
Location.
Sorcerer meta magic. Extend spell.
God.
So he shakes. Like I said, he steps forward, he shakes your hand, he turns around like he's going to lead you somewhere.
Yeah.
When his buddies get within 15 feet of you, they all break into a run.
Okay.
Yeah. Still obfuscated, still trying to be quiet. They're trying to do the ninja run.
When they get
Are
to
they Naruto running?
when they get about I'd
You know,
say
the younger
about-
ones might be.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't use my celerity unless I throw my hands back
Yeah.
behind me.
When they get to about 8 feet, which is just outside of melee range, but close enough where he knows he can probably hit them, he's just gonna. I'm sorry.
As you say that, Brian glances back behind you, and then you flare up like that.
Yeah.
There are screams. All of them become visible. All of you can see these guys now.
Jolene is clicking the walkie-talkie.
With your heightened senses, you hear engines crank down in Stoner Park.
Yep. And then next thing Samuel's going to do, if they're all like screaming and like backing up, he's going to look right up to where the Whip and Dorcas are, and he's going to detonate fire like right in front of them. He's not going to hit them directly, but enough to probably spook them and potentially drop their obfuscation too. You'd like me to roll for that?
Yes, roll for
Because,
that.
yay, fire's our weakness.
Yeah. Okay.
Considering how close we are to the fire,
There's going to be a lot of
or
fear
one of
checks.
us- Okay.
Don't start rolling them yet, though. Let Samuel do his thing.
Yeah,
I'm going
no,
to roll for Dorcas right away.
That is 6 successes.
All right, so you place it where you want it.
Yep. He doesn't want to hit them directly, considering their importance to what the prince wants to find out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he wants to knock them out of obfuscation for the prince to be able to see them.
The light flares up. Their obfuscation goes away. Both because they're shot and because, big bolt of fire appeared next to them.
Yep.
Dorcas, she rears back, but seems to be in control of herself. The Whip runs. That's bonfire-ish, and it's right
That's
there.
fair.
Mm-hmm. What about all the ones that he just hit?
Well, what we're going to do, see, they come around, you flare up, you look up at Dorcas, and that's where we're going to cut for the week. It's just after 9.
I knew it.
I had meant to get through the Coterie part.
I'm like, I'm not gonna get so invested because he's gonna call it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, I wonder how closely they're paying attention to the clock.
Oh no,
Very closely. I'm like,
you weren't paying attention.
we got
to the clock.
15 minutes and we're getting into this fight.
Oh yeah,
If I had a table to flip.
I mean, my desk technically with all my computer stuff on it.
Just yay!
I'm
I just
sorry, but my
disappeared.
new table's a little too heavy to eat.
For online streaming, what you need to do is get like a table size for like Barbie dolls that you can sit up just where your camera can see it, so when you get mad, you just flip it.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to
my
work.
kids would bap that on the floor before that happened.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Cats. Yeah. No, just like pan it down. Just like, hey, Vincent, cat just comes up and like, the table's been yeeted.
No, you pan the camera down, you set the table down, then tell the cat, leave that alone. Alright. So we're wrapping here at this dramatic moment. Fire everywhere. Very shocked Knossos. Reinforcements peeling out of Stoner Park.
Yep.
That's right of the Valkyries.
Ooh, with the fire cause y'all's obfuscation to drop.
Theirs is advanced
we intentionally
obfuscation.
got really far back too.
Yeah.
And they were significantly farther back.
Fair.
Then-
Fair. We'll let it go.
Yeah, because Samuel waited until they were within like 7 to 8 feet, and then he just detonated it locally around himself.
We'll let it go, or at least I won't, or, I may not remember next week and we may bring it up again. Anyway.
Type it in Tuesday chat. Go.
It's okay. I'll put enough we'll put enough memes in there by next week that it'll be out of sight.
I'm on it.
You're gonna pin it, aren't you?
So anyway, we're gonna end her here. Hope everybody watching had fun. I know I had fun running. I suspect my guys had fun.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Always fun. I always look forward to Tuesdays.
Look, sir, I'm going to tell you right now, my heart keeps sinking at these moments because I have genuine dread at how this is going to go. I hope you're happy.
That he's doing his job right.
I am.
Yeah.
A single tear.
So
Because
y'all can be
This
back
is
with us next
either-
week to see how this turns out. But before then, we have a Monster of the Week game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Same time, same Twitch channel. Thursday is Descend into Avernus. We take a break on Fridays. And then Saturday is Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition with the Stolen Cities. Coming back on Mondays is Heath's game, also 5th edition. The Troubleshooters. Blanked on the name for a second there.
You got it.
Which I believe will be their 3rd episode. That one's just gotten started, so if you haven't caught it, it'll be an easy one to catch up on. And then, of course, we'll be back here with, Samuel raining hell and damnation down on people next Tuesday.
He is a vampire.
Again, I've been your storyteller for the evening, Jason. And with me has been Eric playing Samuel. Duba playing Alexander. Rap playing Maeve. Decca playing Blackjack. And Sarah playing Jolene. And we will see y'all next time. Let's see. Might need to close that map so they can see my credits.